Because I'm worth it.
Yeah.
Hello, Disbrew still looks disgusted. Sorry, he's watching a trailer
I'm watching
right
the
now.
Section 31 trailer that I've just seen. I'm like, what on earth is this mess?
What is
What?
a Section 31? Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, that question physically hurt me. It's from Star Trek. It's the it's imagine
that
Black
BS.
Ops Star Trek. Yeah.
That BS. I remember. I watched the trailer with Gary, and I'm like, I have no interest in this whatsoever.
Well, it's not Section 31, so I don't even know what they're aiming for. Section 31 is literally a clandestine Black Ops division of Star Trek, which.
But it's like drag queens or something, right?
Well,
it seems like drag queens.
But I mean, it's 2024. It's in every TV show. I'd be surprised if there wasn't. But the entire point is this is meant to be like a group in Star Trek which nobody knows exists. The ones that did hear about it think it's a myth, and they just kind of appear, do stuff, and vanish again, leave no trace. And they've got pissing armies and stuff.
That's why they're so fabulous.
It's amazing how the people that think they look fabulous always look the most awful they've ever done throughout all of human history. I'm a woman who shaved my head. Yeah, don't.
Don't.
There's very few women who can pull off the shaved head look. Very few.
None.
Like, mostly very few.
None.
There's some.
Unless you're going for the butch lesbian look.
Okay.
Yeah.
If your aim is, I want to look like a man, you can pull off the bald look.
Well, if I ever wanted to become a butch lesbian or a man, I'll go to Disbrew
have a nervous
all.
breakdown.
Yeah, Britney Spears. I'll just go to Disbrew for all his recommendations because I think he knows as a lesbian.
Mm-hmm. I'd still go for the lipstick ones though myself.
You'd go for the lipstick lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
What does that even mean? Is that
it's like
they mean
the
girly
girly ones?
They're the opposite
girly
of the
ones.
butch ones.
Okay. I thought that was
The
So
ones that are the
generally, I
women.
think they still kind of pair up. Although, I think butch and butch is also a pairing simply because they have lower standards.
This person disagrees with you.
I think just mean buzz as in after they've been drinking.
Oh, that's what they mean.
Ooh,
Okay.
I mean,
with a bit of a buzz.
I'm pretty good after a buzz. So I hear. That's why the show exists, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Because we decided to. Oh, here you go.
Speaking of that, mine has got all like kawaii.
Ooh,
Japanese whiskey.
yeah. What is that?
I have vodka in here today.
Toki Suntory whiskey.
That is
Which
so cool.
I may have just done a hate crime. I don't know.
No, I think you're fine. You know what's funny? So I was packing and I thought I brought a bottle of whiskey.
This one does have lipstick and bald.
Oh.
But the lipstick lesbians means feminine rather than lipstick.
Ah.
Well, here you
Like,
go,
being
chat.
bald
Ian
isn't
has a question
feminine.
for you. Lipstick and bald, smash or pass.
Well, those two things go separately because you've got like your preference and what's good, and then you've got smash or pass. For a man, those two things aren't the same. Like, smash bit, that's not a high bar as it is. That and preference are completely unrelated.
Well, it depends on the dude, but I'd say most people, if
It
they're
doesn't really
horny,
depend on the dude.
they really though.
Drew's like, no.
Yeah.
Is this going to be one of those streams or just
Men
Drew
are
disagrees
genetic.
with everything
Men's
we
genetic
say?
imperative is to just bang as many things as possible.
Yeah, but then you have the actual like consciousness of human beings to make decisions too, despite genetics as well.
No, people love to think they're unique and they're so overwhelmed. They're like, oh, definitely, my instincts. I've not. No, generally you act by your instincts and then you try and.
That's why it's a
rationalize it
generalization. There are such things as people who are outliers.
Why would I talk about them?
And then you would not go in the conversation. We will F anything. Have you effed animals yet, Disparu?
I don't even.
know your
That's so far out of left field. I don't even know what it's got to do with the conversation.
I don't bang anything. Exactly.
You know full well if aliens landed on Earth, people would be banging them.
Well, that's what I said. Did
What
you
if they
bang
look like
animals?
humans?
No.
Yeah, but I mean, aliens. This is the whole weird thing, right? Because we're like, oh no, everyone's got to leave dogs alone. Stop the dogs. Like, you may eat them. That's your own standards. No one wants to back. Well, it's the internet. I shouldn't say no one, but most people, normal people, leave the animal. But if aliens landed, all that would go out the window. Because at the moment, it's just like humans. If aliens landed, that entire thing flips overnight. You'd have all the people going, no, look at me and my alien lover. They'd be on like, I keep thinking of Fred Flintstone. It's not the guy I'm thinking. Jerry Springer. They'd be on Jerry Springer going, I've divorced my husband for an alien. And they'd just be all over the place.
Oh my
I'm sorry.
But,
Now
it's
I'm
my right to bang an alien.
This
Now
has
I'm
gone way too far.
Now you have Fred Flintstone, like Jerry Springer style in my head, like a bedrock.
Yeah.
Jerry Springer, thanks for that.
At the ultimate moment, so to speak, they'd be yelling like yabba dabba doo.
Yabba dabba
Oh my gosh.
Oh
Anyway,
God, Japanese whiskey even has like a thing on the back. Why have I got a friendly whiskey introduction? Like, even their whiskey introduction is polite. Toki means time, where old meets new, the history of the past, colliding with the energy of the future. Come journey into the back streets of Tokyo, lit with lanterns and neon. Wander through a record shop. Is this vintage vinyl? Or modern? Or both? Listen to jazz while slurping ramen. I'm like, that's only halfway down. There's a huge description about Tokyo on the back.
this video needs to do commercials.
I think
Yes.
so.
The original, new Suntory time.
Sorry.
Oh, I think
burped.
the Suntory thing means. I think it's a lantern. They've got all lanterns and stuff on the back.
I feel like this is the most random introduction we've ever had.
It is, and
Yes.
Ian, that's a nice.
Well, you started asking about Twilight, basically.
Ian for 50, thanks for the 50 pounds. And yes, it's so good to be able to catch this live again. Disparu. If aliens landed, of course I would.
See?
No, I said people would. I didn't say me specific. For me,
So
it
he's
would
not a
depend.
person.
I'm not against banging aliens. It just depends what the aliens look like. Because there's going to be a range, because you've got like the greys. They could be like green creatures. I'm not into green creatures. I've seen Farscape. Then, if they were like relatively humanoid,
Then you would.
well, yeah, if they were
Because
attractive.
you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
Well,
Mhm.
I'm assuming you'd know because they might have like weird bits.
Anakin's bird
Just
wiener.
different. Just different. They could be different.
I'm
We don't
leaving that one
know.
alone. It's like, yeah, like what if
I'm
it's
gonna
in
put
their
that one on the
armpit or
shelf,
something?
and we'll go back to that one
No,
later
no,
after
no,
I've
no, no,
had a
no,
couple.
no, no, no. We have to go back to this. What weird bits would be acceptable, Disparu?
Yes, Anakin, hold on.
Well, you're talking about aliens. They could literally be anything. So it's like, because it'd have to still fit, right?
What if they had udders?
Well, alien could have like
but you didn't
teethy
know.
ones. Because you know, like dogs have spines
Actually
that come
face
out. So you don't want anything like that. You don't want to go like that'd be horrific.
but
Like
what
an
if-
Iron Maiden trap.
What if, she's like super hot and you're like gonna go do the deed, right? But she's got udders. Are you gonna keep going or are you gonna leave?
Oh yeah, what if
Udders.
there's 7 nipples?
Udders,
on
like,
her
you know, like
boobs on
cows'
each of
udders?
them?
She's got a
But
couple.
I know
little
what
extra
udders are, but then my
Yeah.
brain went, well, what's really the difference?
Well, if there's like 6 of them on her belly, would you be like, oh, it's okay, just ignore them, cover them up? What are you
Well, if they're just like, if they're just basically like boobs, but there's 6 of them. I mean, we already saw 3 on what is it, Total Recall?
Yeah, that's
And
like
I think
3
every bloke
boobs,
looked
1
at 3 and
nipple,
thought, yeah, that's
fine.
better.
That's better. 3's
Yeah.
better than 2.
Yeah, but the thing is, you get diminishing returns because after a certain point, you're like, I don't have that many limbs, so they just kind of go to waste.
I
What if-
love all
what
the
if they
men
start
in the
getting
chat
jealous?
saying that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, they're spelled with a D, but yeah. Utters is
Oh,
speech.
it's okay. Leave Gravy alone. He's agreeing with you, okay? You're gonna lose all your friends.
But
No,
it's
just
true.
kidding.
Well, they're literally the same. It's like, they both produce milk. I don't know what alien milk. It could be like, it could taste like strawberry, though. It depends how far you go with this kind of thing. You're literally talking about infinite possibilities. Now, that's only if they're carbon-based life forms. If they're silicon, you go even further. Like, basically, now you're sucking on a CPU. That's not. No one wants that.
Oh, well, Anakin's burnt wiener for $1.99. You three ladies are fine as wine. Thank you.
Whiskey. I think he means we're
Cheers.
rotting.
Look,
Cheers.
I have
What is that one?
This is Busy Raspberry Tangerine.
Ooh, that sounds. I'm gonna see if they have. Oh, I almost spilled already.
I wasn't expecting that.
Ooh,
I wanna see.
The bottle looks cool.
That's cute. Very festive. I don't
It's
know.
a very It's a lot more yellow on camera than it is in real life.
Sorry,
It's
Ian.
very almost like watercolored.
Like tea almost.
Also,
Yeah.
welcome back. I know you missed us. Welcome
Ian,
back.
I see your face in your profile picture.
He's
never
very
thought I'd
festive.
see
He's got antlers on. He's a reindeer.
Hello, reindeer.
I see your picture. He's a reindeer.
What do reindeers sound like?
Moo.
I think
No?
he's still thinking about that alien.
He is. He's trying to get his mind off it, but he can't. He wants the udders.
It's like, this is like, oh yeah, what does a I can't even think of a random animal. I kept thinking of leprechaun. I'm like, I can't say leprechaun.
Oh my
A
god.
centipede. In my mind, I had the image of a centipede, and my brain just went leprechaun. I'm like, no, this doesn't work.
Carlos Lima, your stepson, Disparu. Thank you for the 5. Hello to the 2 smartest and most beautiful women on YouTube today. Aw, thank you. And to the most based man alive, Disparu. Let's get saucy.
Hey.
I love how
Based in your mum.
I say, and your mom. He said he's gonna agree. When you weren't here, he was like, "I know where he is." He's with my mom.
Yeah, and I came back and made the same joke.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's less fun when he said it.
Duppy Rider for 2. Thank you. Like
this
an
is
extra
weird.
tongue and oh gosh, in a fun place. There you go. Disparu. He's having issues. Give him a
It's like
second.
wrapped in paper or something.
I got earbuds in. It feels weird. I feel like my ears are like clogged. There you go. Okay.
They are.
That's what happens when you put something in those ears.
Yeah. Why'd you say it so
I
serious?
don't know why you had to phrase it like that. Yeah.
Well, how else?
It's like the aliens have come down, and the only way they'll do it is if it's ears. It's in
Boo.
the
Look
ear
at
or
it.
nothing.
Look at Ian's reindeer. Sprucey.
He's got antlers on. That doesn't make him a reindeer.
It does for Christmas. Just because
Does
I'm wearing
that-
antlers doesn't mean
Does
I'm
that
actually a
make
reindeer.
you Santa? Does that make you
See,
Santa?
I
Does it make you
didn't even
Santa?
know he said that. I didn't read what he said.
Dan's here. Did you have your weekly waterfall shower during Saucy? Oh no, he's playing Halo. Good evening. Well,
Like all the new games that have released, and then I sort of realized, yeah.
Oh my god, I've been playing that so much. Path of Exiles.
Yeah, there's loads, and even like the older games have suddenly released. Like Escape from Tarkov did a thing. There's what's it called? The Finals. They've just done an anniversary event.
Oh.
The First Descendant has just come out with their next season. Like everything dropped within about 2 days.
I like that. It's been good.
Dan is a retroist.
Mm. If it's not over like 30 years old, he won't play it.
He's gonna wait 30 years. He'll start playing. Like
I wonder if he has like a well, that's the thing. Is there a yearly cutoff where he's like, no, that's too modern, and does it
Maybe.
actually move, or is he just like, no, this
He's
is my
like-
line in the sand?
He's like the opposite of Leo DiCaprio with girls. He likes older games. 30 and up.
Yeah, maybe Leo can like hand him the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Resign him.
Here you go, Dan.
Mhm. She's yours now. Take care of it.
Thanks,
Here
buddy.
you go. Ed, thank you for the 5 Ed song. This is for you, Disparu.
Disparu. If it would be, do it with, I don't know, Alphaba.
Elphaba from
Elphaba.
Wicked.
or a Jabba, which one would it be? If you don't choose, you have to do both. Well, a Jabba is just like a big slug. So at least Elphaba is like more my species.
She's got
Yeah.
a hole.
So Elphaba.
Oh,
I
there
mean,
you go.
Because the thing is, the Jabba can still talk as well. Like, there's no real winning with this scenario.
I can still talk.
They've
If
both
one
got the
couldn't
same
talk, that would be-
downsides, except
that
one's
would-
a big fat whale and the other one's just insufferable.
Wait, I have to ask. If Jabba couldn't talk, is that a plus?
I think he probably meant if Elphaba couldn't talk, that would be a plus.
Yeah, because I was thinking that, like, there's no advantage to either one, because I don't think it's even a fair fight. Like, Elphaba is more attractive than a Jabba. So you're going off her personality plus the personality of the Jabba, and I don't think a personality can make up for a Jabba.
No.
It's like
No.
if you go Elphaba or Lizzo, I'm still choosing Elphaba.
Well, there you go. That was easier than I thought.
I'm like a bridge. I have a weight limit.
Wow. But if you're too big, you'll crush Disbrew. We don't want that.
He does not want to be crushed.
Must be this small to ride.
You know how they have like weight limits and height limits on rides?
This
Yeah,
has one.
that's what I was
one
going
on his
for, yeah.
door.
It's just
like
the
that.
inverse.
Must be this light.
Good point. Good point, Ian. No utter limit.
Because
Oh,
others,
no.
like if it's an alien species, others wouldn't mean they were fat. It would just mean that's just how they are. So when it was described, I just saw it as like Total Recall, but with an extra like layer. And nobody looked at
Interesting.
Total Recall and went, "Nah, I wouldn't."
Would not.
Especially the remake where Kate
Everyone was
Beckinsale
like,
knocked a
"Would."
guy out with her crotch. She literally slides across the floor with her legs open and knocks a guy out. Best moment of the movie. No, that's a lie. There's a line in it where she's talking to a guy because I think she pretends to be his wife, and then it finds out that he actually had a different wife, but they changed memories and stuff. And at one point, she says something like, "He remembers the taste of my lips," and she goes, "He hasn't kissed you in months." He's like, "Not those lips."
Oh my
I
god.
love
So
these
Kate
random
Beckinsale,
things
it
that
works.
he
there's
remembers.
there's a character who
Kate
uses
Beckinsale.
her hoo-ha to knock people down and then they miss the taste of those lips. Damn. That is one powerful.
This is the thing. Everybody rants about that movie, but it does have its good moments.
I mean, I have to see this. I want to see the moment where she knocks someone out using her crotch. Just out of
Mhm.
curiosity.
It's near the start of the movie. I think it's in the first fight.
Okay, I want to see that too. I didn't see it.
Hey,
Sorry,
It's
know they made a
probably on
remake.
YouTube. It's only be like a few seconds.
it probably is. Magnum Norse for 5. Snape's new smell is Evita ain't my baby mama.
Avada ain't my baby mama.
And Psychotic Mongoose, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships.
Saucy.
He's looking at. You always know when he goes in like search mode, he gets quiet.
I think he's looking for the scene. that-
Yeah.
I tried to find it. I couldn't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's actually.
I just immediately found Kate Beckinsale, like with her arm around her throat, and she's looking up at him as if this is what I wanted. It's like the entire movie is that way.
Speaking of movies that X-Ray hasn't seen, she needs to see Batman Returns. I need her to watch that. 'Cause then she'll
Wait,
understand.
who's the Batman in it?
Michael Keaton. It's the second one. There's Batman, the one that had like the first one, and then
Oh, I
the
have
second
seen
one
that one.
is with Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. I just posted my cosplay picture to that.
I didn't remember the name, but I remember the Catwoman.
Of course, she was the best part. Everyone remembers it. She's the
Michelle
best Catwoman.
Pfeiffer as Catwoman. I've seen pictures. Hot.
It's great.
Yeah, I just googled Batman Returns, and the YouTube thumbnail picture, which shows at the top, is just him on the floor, her above him, trying to lick his nose.
That's not going to get clipped. Eric Stratton for 777. Thank you. Breast equals 1 udder and 1 nipple. Udder, 1 breast and several nipples. Are you still saying you would, Disparu?
So is one breast several nipples?
I don't think that appeals to popular. They're already aliens, so I think people would be accepting.
What if you could what if they had an udder and you had to put it in their nipple, and that was the hole?
Yeah, look at that. Oh, it played. But that was the thumbnail. Literally trying to lick his nose.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I love that movie.
That's very Saucy.
It is. I
can't
have her right
handle
there.
it.
It's dark back there. I don't have my light on, but she's right there. The NECA. Oh, so nice.
I love how people think it's like a weird, something that would put a man off. It's like, well, what if she's only got one boob? Is that?
Okay, chat. Would you? Yeses, ones for yes, woman with udders, or alien with udders. Everything else, I guess, looks kind of the same as a human.
Yeah,
Or-
it would be an attractive alien with just that as the unusual bit. Because aliens would have way weirder things.
Probably. I mean,
Yeah.
they probably would be just an illusion. The entirety of it would be all illusion. Most likely. I'm not sure.
This is
I
the
don't
thing. People they have this really high and mighty attitude in the movies, as if, oh, take me to your leader. Let's talk diplomacy. No. Some of the first questions would be, so how do you bang? That would literally be one of the first questions people asked.
You know what? If Kara's still in here, maybe she's seen this because she's the anime girl. I mean, you're not a girl. Well, I mean, some people think you're a girl, but so it works.
You're
still.
confusing yourself here.
I am. I don't know what's happening. Dan to Dan, is that what it's called? The new
I've not
anime.
seen
Oh,
Dan,
that
Dan,
anime
Dan.
is very weird. Very
It's
weird.
very weird.
anime.
I've seen some of it, but there's aliens in that, and that's what they want. They want to
Oh,
they want your goods.
it's
to
a
make
screw top
babies.
whiskey. That's disappointing.
I thought he went, huh? I said that.
This feels-
Kara, you
I was
want
expecting a cork.
It's like, do I want to admit that I
It's
watched
just
it or not?
hot.
Because it is mongoose. Yeah, it's weird but fun. Exactly, it's very weird. I watched it. My friend was like, "Just
Give
get
me your
past
bananas!"
this part." Yeah,
I said cork as well. Extra.
I like how we're having 3 different conversations in one.
he's talking about a cork, and we're talking
Yeah,
about.
I was focusing on pouring, and then my brain went, she said this about 5 minutes ago. It was like, it heard you, but it lagged the process.
I did. I heard it, but I was like, my brain was
She's
already
like, I'm
talking about.
ignoring it.
Yeah.
No, it was
Sorry.
doing one thing at a time. It's like, don't spill the whiskey, don't spill the whiskey.
Oh gosh.
Hold on. Let me. What did I do? Sorry, I messed up my.
I don't even know what you're attempting to do.
know.
Oh, hi, I'm X-Ray Girl, by the way. We technically didn't do introductions.
Oh, we do that on the show. That's right. We should, huh?
Do we?
Yeah.
Anyone
I
that
don't
might
know,
be
we kinda-
new.
Like, we kind of just
That's
went
just
into
Peru.
it.
He likes whiskey.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And hates Section 31.
Well,
which
like,
is why
can
I
I
looked disgusted at the start of the show.
show you my nails? They're so pretty.
Oh,
I did cat eye again.
I did
But it
red
looks better in the
glitter.
dark.
Are yours glittery?
Yeah. Let me just turn off my
Hold on. This Drew's like, great. Girl crap again. I'm out.
This is what I mean. It's
I just did mine today. I don't know if you can really see. They're red glittery.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Impressive.
cat eye, but because it's
I love
too
how we're
dark.
both. It looks pretty. I like it. It's glittery. Look at us. We didn't even know. We both did glitter. Show us your nails.
For
Oh,
Christmas.
and then they want to see your nails, this brew. It's gonna look like guy
This
nails.
is
Show your
weird.
feet.
Like-
Show your feet.
aliens. That was a weird thing on FNT. Savvy wasn't even on at the end of the intro. It was just her holding her foot up at the camera. I'm like, why?
That
what
would
could
be
possibly
savvy
have
though.
happened where that was necessary?
No,
Um,
she has praised that she can peel a banana with her feet.
That's impressive. If anything ever happens to her hands,
What
she'll
even
be able
makes
to
you
eat.
wonder if you can do that?
I don't know. She is.
I'm more
weird.
interested in why would you try?
Sometimes people let their intrusive thoughts win. Savvy is an example of that, and we love her for it. She
Yeah.
lets her intrusive thoughts
You know,
win.
This is how I live my life. Weird, and she's even weirder, and I love that. Just
Okay,
like,
sure.
"Ugh."
No, there's absolutely nobody sits in a room and goes, "Wonder if I could peel that banana with my feet."
Exactly,
That's
that's
not
a good
something
point.
that people think.
This brew, I feel like
Yeah,
this brew never gets
I
bored.
just
'cause
got bored. Decided
this
to try
brew-
and play
Dude,
frisbee
are
with
you
my
ever bored?
left ankle.
I don't think so. I think Disbrew likes to talk. And
If
he
I'm
likes
bored,
no
I find
company so
something to do.
much That he'll just like talk to himself.
No,
And he'll
I
be
like
like, you know what? I'm having a great day
Boredom
with
got
myself.
eradicated the moment the internet was invented, because the internet has everything on the entire universe ever on it.
Oh, yeah.
Like all of creation. If you
Okay.
have access to all of creation and you're bored, that's seriously a you problem.
When I get bored now, I'm gonna go buy a banana and I'm gonna try and peel it with my feet, and I'll post it somewhere. No, I won't. I'll just.
I
Talk
mean,
about
I
it
would
later.
have hoped that she at least had the banana in the room at the time, rather than having to plan in advance and go, no, I need a banana, I'm going to order one to see if I can do that. Like,
But, I never buy bananas though.
if it was
I
just
do.
spur of the
Oh, don't let
moment,
Dan
that is
hear
more
that.
defensible than planning it in advance.
Don't let Dan hear that. He eats a banana a day. He'll be very disappointed in you.
No, I don't mean eating banana. I mean
No,
peeling them with
extra.
your
That sounds
feet.
so
Doesn't buy
gay.
'em.
If
Are
you
you
like, I have to
saying he's
peel one with
gay?
my feet, but
No,
then
he
plan
did
it
it
in advance
himself.
to have like some guy chip it to you. That's
He was very
weird.
proud of it. He's like, I eat one banana a day. And I was like, that's very healthy.
A banana a day
Potassium.
keeps his husband really gay.
Dan might not even be here anymore. He's in the middle of a game listening to us. Oh, he's like, darn
He's
it.
he's playing his 30-year-old game right now.
I can't pause it.
There's no pause button. Oh my god.
So we interrupted X-Ray because we probably should try to do intros a little bit because we do get new people in
Why?
and out. I see people that are like, it doesn't have to be real, like our type of intros. You could just be like, I'm Disparu and this is Whiskey, and then wink at the camera, and that could be your intro.
Right, Disper, can
Give
you
us a
wink?
wink. Can you
Can you
wink?
wink?
Why would I wink?
He's gonna like blink.
I love how he's like not even answering the question. Why? Why
Yeah.
is this the question?
Because it's
Let's be like, can you
saucy.
peel a banana with your feet? I'm not doing that either.
I think we should do the weird games and do stuff like this now. No,
You want to
kidding.
know a
That's fine.
point here? You know those I've seen it on like Instagram because I'm not on TikTok. So the funny things that everyone sees on TikTok, I see on shorts and reels. Because anyways, but there's a guy that's like when you try to do certain things and like in your head it goes gay, 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 and he's like trying to eat a banana, he breaks it because he like. I feel like guys are like that. I don't know.
Well,
Sure.
I mean, in sort of northern England, gay just means owns a coat.
Gay means
Really?
happy. It used to mean happy,
Yeah,
and then it changed.
it's true.
Yeah, miserable gits.
He's so British. He
He's
just
so
said git.
British.
He's so British.
It's not British. Gary Thomas, thank you for the 10. I'll make sure I keep up on super chats, then we'll get into one of our topics in a minute. Hello all. It's been a crazy week. The French government collapsed. The German government is projected to collapse. South Korea went under martial law, and we got to
Nearly.
hear Barron talk for the first time. Whatever next. Yeah.
Who's Baron?
Trump's son,
Trump's
his
son.
youngest.
Oh, okay, Baron Trump. Okay.
Yeah, the
Sorry, I
little
thought
one who's like really, he's
I
not really
thought
little
you
anymore.
meant
He's in college now.
Baron, like the title Baron. Anyways,
Like something that this brew would use now. Like, he's a baron
Maybe.
and
maybe.
he owns a lot of land. He's a
Yeah,
baron.
Lady Gravemaster was asking me about titles. I'm like, I don't know. Like, is a marquis above a lady? I don't know. I'm not one. I'm a peasant. All that aristocratic stuff I leave for other people. Perverts.
But I do like back in the day, the gossip rags. I liked learning about like the prince and Kate and what they were up to and dating. Oh no, they're not together. No,
There
they're
is a
together.
surprising number of people in America that are really
are
interested, like royal
They're
gossip.
obsessed with like the royal weddings and stuff too.
No,
like,
I think it's kind of fun because it's like
Oh,
this is
nothing
the
wrong with
last
it.
royal family, and like
Yeah.
the royal family we like.
Yeah.
Like
I was gonna
to-
say there's quite a few royal families still going.
No, but that we are actually genuinely interested in, and I think the queen really, despite her age at the time when she was alive, she really showed her like personality really well, and I think that reached far. And then when William dated Kate, I think it was just the sweetest.
Compared to the Scottish, I'm aristocracy. Don't you worry about that.
Oh,
Oh,
it's because he doesn't wear
Welcome
skirts.
back.
There's
Ian.
like peasants of England, and then there's the Scottish serfs.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's
It's
weird.
like
Why do I think that's
every
crazy?
Englishman rules the Scottish.
Now I want to go
Um,
wear a kilt. Can I get a kilt? I need to get a kilt. I
We
still
should
have-
get matching.
That would just
Let's
be
get
you wearing
matching
a
kilts.
skirt. You
I
just
get
put tartan on.
No, we want
A
ones from
skirt.
Scotland, a real one. We
Yeah.
want matching ones.
Oh my god, Ian!
Yeah,
if
but that
I
would just
see...
be a tartan skirt for you.
Okay.
That's not even
Well,
unusual.
Okay. We're not saying
Okay.
we want to be unusual. We're trying to be cute in Scottish skirts.
You know what? Why don't all three of us get matching pairs for socks?
I'm not
True.
wearing a skirt.
Now that would be cute. Ian would approve.
Ian can wear the skirt. Then you two can try and like make him answer the question of is he traditional or not.
Oh, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
You might find out Ace. A quick breeze, you might find out anyway.
Yeah, and did you shave your coin purse? While we're at
I don't
it?
think that's required to be
Thanks, Dan.
traditional.
Thanks for that, Dan.
He reminded me of that yesterday, and then it devolved into the most disgusting. Well, for me, I think for
Not
dudes,
for the
it's not
men.
that- yeah. Then everyone was talking about like right-handed or left-handed jerking off, and I'm like, I don't want to be here for this.
On FNT?
Tough.
No.
Oh
Yeah,
my
Ryan's
God.
like, oh yeah, use this hand, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I
Ryan
don't-
kept getting more and more detailed, and then the conversation would veer off. And then he'd be like, because if I use my right, it feels unusual, like somebody else is doing it. Like, completely out of the blue. We've already changed the conversation, and he's like, no, they need to know this.
I think he knew
Poor
it
X-ray.
bothered me.
Yes.
That's why he had to say that. And I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
I really can't even be on camera right now because I'm disgusted and laughing, but like I don't want to be.
I would say poor Chrissy, but she's a comedian and she's heard worse. So
Oh, she was
poor,
already gone.
poor,
She
oh,
left.
okay.
It was
Well,
just
she probably would have been fine though.
she probably would have
was
been
just
fine.
me.
She would have probably like
Added
participated
to
in the
it.
conversation. It was like, what about feet?
Yeah. She would have started talking about stabbing the cat.
Oh god, I took it.
It's
I'm like,
a
why
great
are you
turn of phrase,
stabbing
though.
Cats. Oh my god.
She was
Took me a
reading.
second. I was
Like, you just looked really confused, but you were
I was
reading the
confused
super
and
chat.
I'm
I was like, you don't
let me go to the
understand what he
super chat.
means?
Yeah, it was like you were going,
I didn't, but then it registered. It registered while I was pulling up the super chat, so my brain was processing a bunch at once. Iris 1997 for $9.99. Thank you. Cheers, all. Please pour one out for our beloved how do you say that word? Bichon dog boy Benny.
Oh, passed away
3/15
today.
2008 to 2/17
16 though. That's one
2024.
hell of an innings
That's
for a dog.
Aw, I'm
God.
so sorry to hear that. Here, we'll do a cheers for the pup.
Cheers to
Cheers.
Benny.
Benny.
Part of the family. May Benny rest in peace in doggy heaven.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Rainbow Bridge.
They always make me cry because I had a conversation a couple days ago about my friend's dog passing away, and like as soon as we started talking about it, I was just like bawling. Sorry, grilled conversation.
That was the guilt.
What? Oh,
You're such an a-hole. This is supposed to be a sweet conversation. Disper!
trying to be
It's not my
sweet.
fault you murdered the dog.
I love her. Okay, she's a beautiful dog. Lived
She was
14
delicious.
years. 14. No, she's a
Wow.
Chihuahua. Chihuahuas don't have enough food, and at 14, I'm sorry.
I like how you've rated
They're
them.
very tiny.
We need an X-ray girl tier list of like.
No.
which-
If we're gonna
which
do,
dog is nicest to eat?
if we're gonna do a dog that like probably would taste good, it has to be like a bigger dog and a very muscular. What's like a muscular dog?
You wouldn't want muscular. Muscles are like stringy. And the nicest meat is the ones that don't move, basically.
So the
'Cause
fatty
it's more
ones?
tender. Well,
Oh.
fat is flavor, but it's like I can't remember. There's a really horrific. Is it veal?
So the
There's a really
oh,
horrific meat
that's
where
the-
they basically lock them in. They can't move, and they just overfeed them. And
Oh, it's not
that's
veal.
why it's.
That's the duck. The duck one. The what's where they? Oh fudge! Chat. What's the duck called? The one
think
where they
it's
a veal.
feed the duck.
What's veal then? Because I think veal's also.
veal is
horrific.
baby cow.
What's ven? I think it's either veal or venison. One of them is not good.
Foie.
There you go.
They literally put
I don't know.
tube down the duck's throat and then they overfeed them.
Wow.
And then they get fatty. But apparently it tastes good. Never tried it. Don't know.
I've never had duck, like period, any kind of duck. I heard. I don't know.
Duck is good. It's
Is
really
it?
good. Yeah.
I'll have to try it.
Mhm.
Demajani for 2, thank you. Elphaba is cool and all, but Zelina from Once Upon a Time is fire.
Okay, I'm glad you knew what that was because I was gonna say what.
I knew because that's the only time I've ever heard Zelina was from Once Upon a Time, so I remember that. That's when I still watched it. The last like 2 seasons I didn't watch though because I started doing the characters again, but with different actors, like the Hispanic Cinderella and stuff. I'm like, you already did Cinderella. I don't get
Ooh.
it.
Okay, Chad is saying that veal is impaired movement for cows
you
as
go.
well. Okay,
Veals, aren't they babies?
babies and impaired.
Yeah, I think they're really young, and they just keep them in like a container that's just as large as they are, so they can't move. Because the idea, the more you move, the more muscle
Agreed.
you get, and they like the more stringy and stuff. So
I didn't know that. I thought you'd want bigger muscles for more tender meat.
No,
Well, shows how much
You-
I know.
like a bigger dog would have bigger steaks and stuff, but you don't want a muscular one. You probably would want just like a
What's a
large
good
dog
fat
that doesn't move a
dog?
lot. So you
Like
want
a
like a big
bulldog.
lazy dog.
A bulldog.
Oh, there you
Well,
go.
I mean, they've not been bred particularly well. Who knows what? They may have all kind of weird genetic mutations.
I raised ducks. X-rays thinking of goose liver. Thank you, Lucifer the Doberman.
Mhm.
Okay, let's see.
I keep seeing those runner ducks around all over the place.
Dave
Like the
Chandler.
really upright ones.
Oh, just show us your nails, Disparu.
Show nails.
Do you want to know an interesting thing? If you ask people to show your nails, women all go like that, and a man will go like that.
No,
Especially with
okay,
that-
It's
So-
a weird.
when
it's
I
like
do-
an instinctual difference.
When I do like a video, I go like this to this.
Well, it's different when you're using like a camera and stuff. But if you just ask someone and you haven't told them, instinctually, women will go like that, and men will
but I do this.
make a fist. That's the worst because especially with like a 30 FPS camera, all people see is a blur.
Look how pretty.
Oh, I'm so
Aw.
sorry, Kara. I did not eat Gus.
That you know
I
of.
couldn't. Gus.
She at
is
least bought a replacement.
So... No, I didn't.
What?
What?
Uh,
I love Gus. He's such a good dog.
Andrew Matthews X-ray. You guys have literal name tags on screen.
No,
Yes.
I don't. Not right now.
Aha.
There we go.
But you need to
Carlos
introduce yourself,
Lima
'cause they can't read.
for 5. Hey, X-ray girl. In the snow yellow skit, they made you look like Yumbai.
I think they mean Yimby.
Yimby.
From,
Yimby?
Five Hearts
Okay.
Under One Roof.
Okay.
Envy.
Oh, I
Envy.
didn't watch the game. The girl you like in the Korean dating game
Oh, there
you're
you go.
playing.
She's
Okay,
like
well, there you
the
go.
cute one that likes
Mhm.
manga and she likes to karaoke and
She's the hottest, and then there's a second one that I can't remember her name. I don't get the love for Gran.
Oh,
I don't
'cause
understand.
Titties.
Yeah, but they're just fake anyway, and the other girls have them. They just don't put them like on display.
But that's the thing is, Gran is the type of girl that you would just smash for one night and then whatever, you maybe get bored of her or whatever. She's high maintenance. But then you want someone who, lady on the streets, probably freaking the sheets. And do you want her to show off all her assets all the time? I don't think so. Because then, when they come out, it's like, bam, boobs or whatever.
Oops. D-Luz, I personally, for myself, like I like long nails. I'm actually regrowing them out right now. So they're actually not short, but they feel short. I like long nails. These are like medium for me.
Min Young
Uh,
is the second one.
Min Young, is that
Yunbi, then Min Young.
That's the sister?
I don't know. No.
No, is that the one in the attic?
I'll have to try and find
The one in the attic, I
particular
think.
names.
I like to keep my nails short because like even when I cut my nails short, and this is something from when I was a piano player, like I would make the sound like tapping.
So the attic would be
I like
Seung
it more.
Yi.
Oh,
Min Young is that one. Yunbi. I
Wait,
think that's the
Min Young?
sister. Mal Suk.
Malsuk is the internet cafe girl. So Min Young is the sister.
No, I think
then.
she's the.
Malsuk
I
is the
thought Mal
internet
Suk is the
cafe
sister.
girl.
I don't know.
She's the internet cafe girl. I
Yeah, but
promise.
she's the one that like stays for free at the start.
yes.
She's yeah.
I love how invested
so-
this brew is
so-
in this
so-
game.
So
Yunbi
Min
is the
Young
one that
is
returns from abroad. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was watching
Min Young
Asmongold
is the
play it. I
sister.
watched it as a meme, and then I got really invested.
You know what? This game, it's besides the fact that you have to get the girls to like you, throughout the
I
story.
think Min Young is the milk singer.
Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. Yes, she is sweet and seems very innocent, hardworking. And I think that those are good characteristics to have.
Well,
I
I'm
see
just going
5
off
extra
who's the
girls.
hottest. And it's
Wow.
literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, Seung-gi, I think she, despite her being in the attic and seeming like she's quiet, she's the freak. She's the freakiest of the freak. When
I
she
don't think so.
danced, she was twerking. I'm sorry, for a quiet girl.
That doesn't mean anything. That just means you're a talentless slag.
No, she's
Yeah.
freaky.
Like
that if
there's
you
absolutely nothing
dance,
to
that's
you.
like the
You're
thing
based.
where you're gonna
You're really
gyrate your
basic.
hips.
You have absolutely nothing to you. You don't know how to dance. You've lost all femininity or ability to seduce
I
a bloke.
don't.
So the only thing you have going for you is I'm easy. That's literally it.
Well, all these girls are pretty easy for the protagonist.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the point of the game. But some at least are feigning innocence, and then Gran. There was one where you're talking to her in an office on the text thing, and there's a certain thing where it ends with, what underwear are you wearing? And she's like, go to the filing cabinet room. And she just spreads. And then it goes, secret ending!
I'm sure chat's gonna really love that when I get to that part.
Mm-hmm. There's a certain answers that you have to give to set it off.
Huh.
I'm gonna find that secret ending then.
Mm-hmm.
Chat, help me. Thank you.
Yes, I have played Space Marine 2. I just haven't streamed it yet because I need to get the crew together to play it. But I liked it.
I remember one of the answers that you have to do is, what do you want to eat? And you have to reply, you.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Space Marine. I was like, when did that happen in Space Marine 2?
Yeah, that was in the secret ending of Space Marines. The really difficult problem was you had to get the armor off first, so that takes it like an hour.
No, it's just like a flap that opens. Like,
oh no.
Yeah, the worst thing that can happen to a Space Marine is the need to pee.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean,
Who?
Poo would be bad.
Yeah. It is probably like the astronauts. You just kind of have to do it in your suit and hope.
Wait, astronauts do it in their suit?
Well, the astronauts actually wear nappies.
They wear diapers.
That's why nappies were invented, you know.
I thought it
I'm
was
pretty sure
not
that's
for
correct.
babies.
I'm sure I've heard it. Yeah, I'm sure that they invented it for NASA, and then they were like, "Oh, look, this is really absurd."
This is on Game Boy.
I think that's correct. I could be wrong. I'm gonna Google it.
I'm gonna let this brew read this one when he gets back because I can't pronounce the words. Those aliens' names. This is from
I know this.
Oh, no,
okay, there you go.
Imagine for $2 if we're going aliens, Asari or Twi'leks.
Okay, I got a sorry, but I was gonna say like Twilight or something. I don't know.
That's actually more horrific. In the 1940s, a woman was fed up with washing nappies.
Is it Twi'leks or Twi'leks? Oh my god.
Twi'lek.
Twi'lek.
Okay. Which one are you picking, Disparu?
I know what an Asari is. Hang on.
I accept your apology.
Twi'lek.
There you go.
Oh, Asari is kind of scary.
Well, my issue is they have the she has the hair pulled back look, which I just don't like.
He likes to play with the little whatever these are called.
Hair? Oh, you mean the Twi'lek thing? No, people do it where they have like really tight ponytails, so like pull it back and start. No, that's what that reminds me of. Like stretches all the face out.
Oh, I thought guys like that. You know, when you put the hair up, it means business.
Yeah, but that's in that very specific situation. You don't need to walk around like that.
This brew doesn't like buns or ponytails.
No,
That's
Your hair
true.
needs
I
to be
remember
should be
those
down.
conversations.
Yeah.
I remember those conversations.
Miss Martin Muses, thank you for the 99-cent super sticker. Hi, Teresa. Dave Chandler for $4.99. That's a great video. There's a great video of the Spanish king and queen comforting their people after a catastrophic flood. The politicians hid, but not the royals. Aw,
That's actually really sweet. I
yeah,
love
that's
that.
heartwarming.
And I mean, I love Spain. Spain has good food and wine.
I want to go.
What?
Magnum Norse
They
for
do.
5. I'm sure they got great food. The more, the
Oh, so
merrier. Oh,
good.
No,
we're still
it
talking
was
about the
that's what she judged a
boobs.
nation. But I like Spain. They have good food. That was like the one.
No,
judged
and
a
then
nation.
if you ever go to
Important.
Barcelona, the
Oh, I wanna
city
go.
is absolutely gorgeous. Between the actual like culture, and I have met so many like random people when I like went there with like my friends, and just everyone's been great. Plus,
There does
yeah,
tend to be a lot of strangers in a foreign country.
I know, right? I never felt unsafe, although I heard of
You might
apparently
know.
people being pickpocketed, but I might have been more wary than others.
So
I
the
also don't.
gypsies
When
in
did you
France.
go?
I went in 2018 or
Relatively recently.
2015.
Oh, 18. Yeah.
The gypsies in France, Paris were way worse. I punched one
Y-
because in the mid. So we were
Sometimes
going
they
on.
need it.
No, we were going onto the subway, the train. Sorry, and my friends. I told her, don't use a backpack. We were told don't use a backpack, and I had like, of course, my like little purse and a scarf all around, so people wouldn't like f with me. And on the train, I saw it as we're going on. There was a girl that like bumped into her so that she would get disoriented, and then I saw her opening, and so I just like right across her face, and I'm like, "No, you're not stealing her stuff." So I
Yeah.
felt bad afterwards. I probably didn't need to.
It was a
but
reaction.
But
She could have ran away with it though if you wouldn't have done that. She would have grabbed it and ran.
I knew her passport was right at the top too, so I didn't want to
Oh,
F with that.
yeah.
And I
you don't
know
want
a
to walk
friend
around
who
with your
lost.
passport at the best of times.
No,
Well,
I.
and I know. So she was being stupid. My friend, I
Yeah.
mean, not the gypsy. I mean, the gypsy was being stupid
Both of
too.
them were stupid.
But yeah, it was a kid. I felt a little bad, but when you do bad things, you have to accept the consequences when they come.
Yeah. Well, that's just it's your basic reaction. It's like fight or flight kind of. And you're right. If she would have gotten your friend's passport, she'd been stuck.
Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
it's not easy. It's actually really scary because
It
you're stuck in the
is.
country, and then it takes 3 days at least to
To get
go
an
through.
emergency one, you'd
Yeah.
probably have to go to like an embassy or something
Yeah,
to
you
even
gotta go
get
to
it.
the
Yeah, you
embassy.
do.
And sometimes I've heard they won't even see you. It depends because not sometimes they don't like Americans, so they'll just make you wait. And it's like if you don't have the money, you're just sitting there. Like, what are you
I
gonna
mean, they
do?
don't like
Stand-
You'd have to go to the American embassy. If the
Oh,
American embassy doesn't like Americans, you're in real trouble.
okay. No, I was thinking of a whole different situation. Actually, it's something to do with that. But yeah, they give you a
Did you know?
hard time. Which
I think it's either the Chinese or the Japanese embassy. One of them has a 24-hour hotline for people in their nation going to France, because the culture clash is so severe it can give them like PTSD symptoms. So they literally have a helpline to like patronize them to the culture if
Really?
required. And that is before all the changes in Europe recently. So that was just the French. You can imagine what it's like now.
I mean, I would not want to be in Paris right now. I'm glad I kind of went when I did. And it was still
Oh yeah,
open
even the
since
Spain
then.
and stuff now it'd be massively different from when it was in 2018.
You would have to
UK is.
go like in the country. I would not go to the cities. Hell no.
I've heard the main cities in France have a lot of trouble with bed bugs and stuff now. So
Ooh, no,
Not-
thank you.
yeah, there was like a trend of people videoing them, so I saw a lot of footage from like the trains and the buses and things.
That scares me to get bed bugs because as soon as
Oh.
one gets in your home, you're
Mhm.
effed.
Yeah,
You are absolutely effed. So
yeah,
I
they can be like
think all
itch
that
thinking
kicked
about
off
it.
when they were doing. I think it was the Olympics they were doing. They were holding some kind of sports event, and people were like, "Yeah, you sure want to go here? Have this really prestigious event? Because here's these bed bugs everywhere."
Voice says that laughing. Oh, look who's back! The health
Oh my
minister of
God!
Belgium. Hey,
I've never been to Belgium.
I
She
heard they
takes
have
really
good
good
chocolate.
profile pictures because she really fills out the frame.
Yeah, he's the whole face.
Very full.
One of the benefits of being spherical.
Hey, Disbrew, it would be cool if you and Gary and the F&T crew did a top 5 best movie/shows in addition to the most woke videos coming out.
Uh, I'm not even sure how we would do a collective video. It tends to be Gary that does like the top 5 things. So occasionally he does, and I think he said he was going to ask people
He
soon
did.
for one
He
at the end of the
has
year.
slowly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what top 5s he's doing, but it would be Gary that would do that kind of thing.
Okay, I can't say.
I'm not sure how you'd even do like top 5 best, because one of my issues is especially not being a movie person, I tend to watch movies once and then never watch them again. So a lot of movies I will have watched them when I was like 13. I can't rank a movie that I saw 20 years ago, 24 years ago, whatever it is.
I rewatch a lot of stuff.
I do
Yeah,
too.
I don't. I rewatch more TV series than movies.
I love knowing the ending. Like I've watched Mulan probably like hundreds of times at this rate. It's so good.
It's a good one.
I cry
Escape.
every time.
I always hope the ending changes. Like even when I was watching like
Mulan?
when I was watching what was it called? The last Star Wars show.
Skeleton Crew?
No, the one with
Acolyte?
The Acolyte. I knew it began with an A. Even when I'm watching the Acolyte, I'm like, this time maybe she'll die, maybe she'll lose. It's the one thing that keeps me going when I'm rewatching the show.
Like, okay, if we did an
I'll unlock the good ending
for Acolyte, like the satisfying ending, I think having instead that moment when Squid Game guy, I forgot his name in the show.
He'd have to kill all of them.
I think if he killed Osha, that would have
All of them.
been the way to do it. Like to kind of close the story, one season, done. Happy.
It's like you use the Force, you throw her onto the guy's lightsaber, then you cut his head off, and the other one's going away, going, "No, I just want to survive. Let me live." It's like, no, and poof, it just annihilates all of them.
I think right at the point where Osha
like, "Help me,"
trying to kill him, then he realizes he has that like, oh crap, she's actually evil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he could like annihilate them at any time. It's like I've always liked the Watchmen intro, where it's like the gutters and the sewers will froth up, and they shall look up and whisper, "Help me," and then the scream, "Help me," and I shall look down and whisper, "No." It's like that's such a great intro. That should be the ending to the Acolyte. Save me! No, and he just walks off, and they get crushed to death.
Yeah,
I like the hat on your duck, Escapo. Says I too am something of a duckologist.
Mm-hmm.
huh. Very nice.
He dresses them.
Yeah,
I
it's an important job. No, I will. I'll try one day.
Cold.
I mean, true. Ed Song, thank you for the 5. Mal Suk looks like a Sunder who will stalk you till you come back to her. After a while, she will get angry, threaten you with a knife to get back with her. Who's that?
No, I think that's Yunbi. Because Yunbi goes away and remembers a promise you made as a kid to get with her, and then comes back and goes, "Look, it's the promise you made to marry me." So she actually is probably the bunny boiler of the group.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, he did mean yandere. Last one's supposed to be yandere, not okay. Okay, that makes sense.
Apparently, is a thing.
Oh, okay. He looked
Refers to a character or a person who is openly cold and hides their true feelings while interacting with their love interest.
Ah, okay. So, which topic do you guys want to get into first? We have
the first one.
But an hour in.
That's okay.
After all the alien sex talk.
Yes.
We have the Snape stuff
or
the Lord of the Rings.
Because the problem with the alien talk is they could literally be an infinite amount of options, so you really have to narrow it down.
Oh my god, can we one day do a smash or pass like alien battle of like the sexiest aliens?
Sure. You want to know what I stumbled onto the other day as stream? It was on Epic
human?
Universe. And I'm just gonna say Phil from Project Egg Rolls on there, so you know it was degenerate. They were ranking Disney moms, and like I go in and see like Simba's mom, and then like the Aristocats' mom, like on top, and I'm like, what is this list? And Michael's like, Wicked, no, don't look. You shouldn't be here. You don't want to see this. And he's like, and I forgot what he said they were doing, but I'm like, Phil's here. I don't believe you, Mike. I know what this is.
Yeah, Project Egg Roll are degenerates, and I love them.
Yeah.
I love them so much.
Like, this would be the problem when you're trying to do hottest aliens. Because you basically got, well, they're all kind of human, they've just got different colors.
Mhm.
And like, most aliens in TV shows are just, let's put some face paint on them, or paint them white for some reason. And even then you'd have, like, Aaron's son, and you're like, well, she's basically human.
Yeah, I feel like we would have to do like a very not human looking, like
Mhm.
we
Sorry.
were ranking them by best motherly instinct. Yeah, right.
I think
You're
that's what
right.
Mike said, and I was like, no, Phil's here. I don't believe you.
I don't believe you. I've seen him play Stellar Blade. He does that face. Or whatever he does. Oh my gosh, she's climbing
Make
up
her
the
go up the
ladder.
ladder again.
Ah!
I mean, at least that game added squish physics.
They did. Honestly, I'm
Really pushing the
surprised
boundary of modern graphics.
that it took them so long to do the 2B cross play with Eve. Like, I still haven't played it yet, and I want to so bad. I just don't have my PlayStation.
I love how the first article I saw about that was, you can't look up a skirt.
You can. Wait,
That's
2B or
what the article
2E?
said you can't. I've not played the game, I've only seen the article.
I've swam, I have climbed, I've been up that freaking rope thing. You could see up her
No, I mean 2B, yeah. The
2B. Oh, okay, yeah, no.
yeah.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, Eve is a bit more on the salacious side for sure. I think maybe if they do an additional game, if they're smart, they probably should. It was such a good game. But I don't know if that would ruin it. We'll see. I want it to happen. I want it to happen so bad.
I mean, whatever game they did, they'd do a game like that. Like, their previous game before that was Nikki, which is a mobile game, which is literally just women bending over. I think built into the lore of that is robots were trying to... like alien robots invaded Earth, and the only way that they could survive is by taking the brains of women and putting them into the perfect bodies of women. And so you've just got, like, robot women fighting robots, but they're all perfect. And it's like, well...
I mean, if we can make perfect women like that, I mean, I guess in a way.
Well, that's what's going to happen. I mean, look at Elon's robot force.
Oh my
If
god.
you're going to be like, okay, so you need this robot to look like, you're not going to make it a dog.
There I saw a Netflix trailer. Wonder if I can
Oh,
find
yeah.
it.
I know the one you mean.
I know I just want to know what it's called. I'm
Is
not
it
going to show it.
Substance? Something like
Let's see, bookmarks. Because I bookmark it because I'm like, that is such a strange, crazy concept, and I'm kind of like, I could see it
that. I
happen.
don't think it's that crazy, because I think she just basically gets jealous.
What?
So it was just kind of a robot having the feelings of sort of a smitten ex kind of thing.
I don't know where I sent it or have it. It was so. But anyway, so yeah, the wife decides to give her husband a sex robot in place of her.
I didn't think it was meant to be a sex robot specifically.
Well,
A robot.
relationship.
I think it's just a robot, and it's basically pressures him into having, because there's the scene, and he's like, no, I don't want to do this, and she's basically throwing herself at him.
I know what
Yeah.
you guys are talking about.
And then when they finally have sex, it's like, oh, he's like, oh my god, it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, honey. You were so right about me wanting this. You know me so well. And I'm like,
Wow.
This
And
is
now
like
he's
when
not gonna
Mike was
want
like,
you.
which is the best MILF from Disney? And it's like, well, it's Elastigirl.
So she's thick?
why?
She's got a big booty.
No, it's because she's elastic.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
Oh my
He's like,
god.
no, you're wrong. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
I don't even like the big arse thing. It's a very American thing that
big.
got shipped around the world. It's very unusual to me. I'm a 90s guy. I remember what people used to like. It's bizarre. I've spoken about this before. Coupling even has a series of jokes from a character because this woman's like, "Oh my god, my arse is getting bigger," as if it's a bad thing throughout the entire series. And then somehow, at some point, the media made everyone flip and everyone forgot. And I feel like I'm going insane until I see coupling. I'm like, that I remember.
Well, I would think we had this conversation before, but it is kind of
Yes.
going back to no, but I mean that it's going back to like smaller women because there's all these women that got like the Kim Kardashian surgery, and because that trend is dying out, they're getting it reversed, and it's like it's so bad for their bodies because what are they gonna do when the trend comes back? Because trends always come back, they come and go. Are they gonna get it done again? Like it's just so stupid to alter your body like that.
I don't normally think things like that go in trends, though. Like
Well-
fashion and stuff goes in trends, music goes in trends. The size of your arse that's never been a trend before. That was a new thing that flipped, and I do think it came from America and got exported via like your media and stuff. And then, because my thing was always that people's tastes are probably fixed, they're probably genetic, and they're not influenced by the stuff around them in the world. That's clearly wrong because I remember it happening.
Yeah, no, it was a thing. Like, well, remember even like the early 2000s. If people don't remember, like back into the 90s, like Paris Hilton and stuff, they were very just like she was like very popular. You know what I mean? She was like a beauty standard. So yeah,
slim,
very
like petite,
slim and
that's,
petite. Yeah,
that's always been. And then people are like, no, I want to have. And then people are like, well, not fat though. I'm like, what? So you want somebody who's massive but not fat? I'm confused.
massive but not fat.
If it jiggles, it's too much. It should be muscular.
I'm sure some people would not disagree with that. No cottage cheese. So Disru doesn't want cottage cheese. He wants firm.
Well, your arse should move with you. So if you go up, your arse should follow. There shouldn't be like a delay. And it should move and stop. It shouldn't like move and then carry on going up and down.
Like a wave.
It's the whole twerking thing. I'm like, what on earth is this? Like, this is my idea of hell. It's just like really morbidly brave people shaking things that shouldn't even shake in the first place. I'm like, oh.
They're not all morbidly obese, or just
That morbidly brave is the correct term.
I see what you're saying.
I'll also accept morbidly dying.
Well, on that note, let's get into our first topic here. I'll just make an executive decision, and we'll start with Harry Potter. Now, I am not a Harry Potter person. I know what the characters look like, and I think it's very silly. This is a rumor, so maybe they're just trying to stir up,
Yeah, but it's an exclusive from Hollywood Reporter. Now, they have connections within the industry. They're basically a mouthpiece for the industry. So I think there's two options. Either they're floating it, as in...
A tester, right?
Yeah. Could we get away with this? Because Bond's done the same thing. But there's three options. Like, they're thinking about it, or they have gone through all the procedures and stuff, and so he's part of a group that they're considering but haven't chosen. I think the least likely is they've made it up. I think they definitely have a source on the
But
show
look at
which has told them this.
being eyed for a fan favorite. I don't believe that. I don't think any real fans want him to play the character because it's way off.
I don't think any fans, but I'm saying most fans, because if you like the description of
Nobody
like,
cares about the
Snape.
exceptions. There's always some weird freaks out there that want something.
No,
in edge case.
absolutely. But like the description of who Snape is in the book, like it just doesn't match him. Now, I have grown to like Elphaba in Wicked the musical, or like what other characters like really surprise you? I mean, I know we mentioned Catwoman and Batman, but like there have been changes because maybe the actress or actor has been better. I don't know about this guy. I've never really watched him. I don't know anything about
I
him.
don't know who he is.
I mean, the fan
I
favorite
was
has
surprised by
always
Rachel
been
Ziegler's
Adam
singing
Driver.
because I'd not heard it. That's probably
She's
the
a
one that
good
surprised me.
singer. She's
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
singer. Like that, I will never take that away from her. But she is a bitch.
She's
Well,
an
that's the
awful
thing.
human,
I'd only
so-
ever heard what she said. No, I'd never watched the movies to hear her singing.
Yeah.
No.
So
S-
he could be. He could be really good. And I think British actors, they have to be good, especially if they do stage plays.
I've
Yeah.
I've seen one of his previous things. It was the time travel show. I could find out what it was called. He's an okay actor. It's just he shouldn't be in this role.
It's
No.
because it's not. So the thing is, I feel back, like an example, I know people probably float this one around a lot, is the Cinderella where Brandy played Cinderella, Whitney Houston was the fairy godmother, Whoopi Goldberg was a queen, and I can't remember his name right now, but there was a white king, black queen, Asian prince, like didn't make sense, but nobody thought about it because it was a musical, the acting was good, it was a fun movie, nobody cared because they weren't doing it for DEI crap like they're doing now. And that's what the problem with this is. They're not doing it because they want to be inclusive or this that they want to stir up drama and they want to seem like they're being, inclusive with it. That's just what I take from all this now because it gets done so much. It's almost rare for these Hollywood people to stick to the actual lore of books and video games and if they're doing a reboot of a movie or a show.
And like
Well,
I
and
don't
that's the
trust
thing. Once you change the character, you will change the plot. You will change the
Yeah,
script.
that
You will
too.
change the lore because you've already proven that you don't care about it. And so it's not for me. Oh, why did they choose him? It's like this is showing me your intentions with the rest of the series. And I'm not a Harry
absolutely.
Potter person. I wouldn't even know if you changed it, but obviously you should stick to it. Whatever the description is. I
Yeah.
actually think Ryan had a good point when he was on about the movies also didn't stick to it. And he wanted this TV series to be closer to the books than the movies were, which would have
I
given a
think so
unique
too.
take. Yeah, a
'Cause
unique take over a longer time, which would have been good.
and like realistically, if we even talk about like the standalone moments of like Hermione and Ron, I don't think that they would stick to the books either because then Ron's getting all the highlights. He is the better friend in that sense that he is the heroic person. I mean, Hermione is a good person too, regardless. But like Hermione got a lot of Ron's sections in the book later on in the movies. So we'll see. I don't know. DEI and it's the UK, so
Yeah,
I have low
Steven, perfect
expectations.
point. That if Hollywood cared about diversity, then they would create new stories. Exactly.
But you also get into a kind of weird bargaining because I've seen a load of people going Adam Driver. Now, my position for this is the same as I have for Bond. It's a British thing, so it should have British people in it because something can only be authentically British if it's got British people in it. But when you do this and you've already changed it so much, well, now Adam Driver's back on the table because it's like, well, he would actually break the law less than this.
Yeah.
And so you get into a very weird position where now you've lowered the standards so much, anything's on the table. You can literally change anything about it.
You can do
'Cause
better, and that's why I really do think that this is most likely a test to see how people would react to it,
Yeah.
because I think that their best bet would be to unveil the trio first versus Snape, but because Snape is such a strong character throughout the entirety of the show, besides Gandalf, maybe, as a B character,
Yeah.
that we'll see. DEI
So
obviously isn't working.
they're saying he comes across as the story's primary antagonist in the show's first season, which will be based upon J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. The role was famously played by the late Alan Rickman. Yeah. So, and that's another thing. He has such a strong fan base. And see, like I'm not into Harry Potter. I've watched part of the first movie, read part of the first book. I just never got into Harry Potter, so I'm not somebody that can really put my 2 cents in at that. But just seeing that they're doing this again, it's like, but I think X-Ray's right. I think they are just doing a test here, and that he may not actually ended up being cast. Because has J.K. Rowling said anything? She hasn't said anything about it, right?
you,
Nothing
you
I'm
have to
aware of.
remember with J.K. Rowling, she's a rabid leftist. She would be 100% on board with all of this. It's only because she disagreed about one thing.
I know
Uh,
people talk about that. Like, I think I agree with what she says about trans and all that, but like 90% of the other stuff she says, I don't agree with. So
she takes the very typical feminist position on all of it, which is
Yeah.
literally, I am all for destroying the nation, society, and the fabric of the earth. Just not that one there. And it's like, that one actually harms me, so I don't want that. I just want everything else at the cost of anything.
Mhm.
I just don't, that actually takes some of my rights away, though. Well, my special privileges that I didn't deserve. So I don't want that. But I do want all this other evil stuff. So I
All
have
the other-
absolutely no respect for her in that regard at all. She would 100% be for this.
you know who could be Snape? Dan Vask. He looks like him. Got the long hair.
He would be. Well, I think Ryan's main thing yesterday was like, no, he's supposed to be ugly. Like, you're not supposed to like. Even
Oh.
Alan Rickman was too attractive to be him. And
Yeah.
so-
Well, Hollywood is supposed to glam up when they do this stuff, right? I
No.
mean, well, it depends on
no,
who
in
they
the story,
do, but
some characters are supposed to be ugly because it shows you. There is an element of there are some evil people in the world that just look awful, and you can tell. You can go to Portland, look around, you can tell these people are scum by looking at them. And that there is like an innate sense that humans have because your genetics do reflect in your personality. And I think that's what it was meant to be, like she was meant to be trying to show with this. That
Well, and then
Yeah.
that's
his
why
face was supposed to give you an impression of the character.
Lily was supposed to pick James because he's handsome and funny, and Snape was just that weird kid when they were younger and
Yeah.
ugly. And of course, the girl's going to choose the more handsome guy, right? Right?
It's like
Especially when
in
you're young.
comedians.
Yeah.
I remember Jimmy Carr saying one of the things he thinks helps his career is he has a funny face. Like he has an unusual face, and his thing was comedians need to be weird. They need something weird about them because it helps the act. And I do know in one of the things that Americans do when they convert British comedy shows is they suddenly come out with all these attractive people. And it's like, no, British comedy is meant to be, and British culture is about kind of putting people down. That's part of the thing. They're not supposed to be like really attractive and gorgeous and outgoing and hype. So the Americans come in and cast these like tens, and it just destroys the character.
And by the way, when I said that it was just the hair, I'm not saying that Dan looks like Snape. He doesn't. Just to
Well,
be
no, but
clear, I don't hurt his
it was
feelings.
the
hair.
it was an interesting point rather than a specific example.
Yeah, because
Because I
you're
could see
right, they
Hollywood
do.
doing that, and they cast like an attractive person to be Snape, and they don't see anything wrong with it. It's like,
Disbrew just called Dan attractive. He's like, they won't pick Dan because he's attractive. Okay. He's not denying it, but
look, he's followed by a horde of middle-aged single divorcees for a reason.
middle age.
I mean,
thought
he's
they were
not
like,
wrong.
Well, and above, obviously.
Uh,
Once they get
he's-
desperate, they say that.
he plays games like he has the women fans.
we already know where Disbrew stands on Dan. Oh goodness. Okay. Well, yeah, this was a lot
Just
of people
don't
were.
let him near a machete. You can't be trusted.
That's true. I told him he's
Oh
not
my
allowed to play with
God.
those anymore. He was like, "Why not?" I'm like, "Don't touch machetes ever again. You're grounded." You're
Hearing
not
his
allowed.
story of what he was doing, it's just like, dude.
It actually made it worse because he
Right.
was like, "So there I was holding the branch," and I'm like, "Yeah, so you hacked there." He's like, "No, I hacked there." I'm like, "That's your problem. Swing away from the hand."
Swing away.
Yup.
But yeah,
He's
people on
special.
the internet saying stuff like, "Can someone tell me in the book where it says the characters are white?" And like, I love people just coming with the receipts.
Oh.
Like, actually, yeah,
Yeah, but
read the book
also-
before you ask dumb questions. Because the thing is, you could just simply Google it too and find probably these pages and stuff. So it's like,
AI, it's
Yeah, but it-
amazing for that.
yeah,
It doesn't need to be said. This is the whole point. A lot of people are like, well, it wasn't mentioned, and so but nobody. Yes, everybody knows. If it was set in England, we'd know his race because English people
Yeah.
have always looked this way for thousands of years.
So
And
let me ask.
writers as a whole tend to assume themselves as the default. So if you have a black writer and he doesn't say it, the character's black. If it's a white writer, they mean themselves. Because they think of the world as them as the default. And so they only mention the exceptions, the unusual things, the things which are different from them.
And that was like really clear, especially in the Goblet of Fire when they had the 3 different schools come over. And they're talking about what separated these different schools from each other. They talked about the looks, and J.K. Rowling definitely like was very descriptive about it. Now, I didn't imagine Snape looked like that, but that is a very big nose.
Well, yeah,
Nose.
it's described as having a hooked nose, so it's a Roman nose.
Yeah.
With the down and then the change, but it's a case of it's the same reason we don't call anything brown chocolate, because if I say chocolate, you already know I mean brown chocolate. Now, if I was describing white, I'd say white chocolate because that's the exception. You only put the descriptor when it's the unusual, unexpected outcome. You never describe the norm. And if you are talking as an Englishman in England, everybody knows what the norm is, and so it's not described. And then you have someone from an external culture coming in and say, well, you didn't say this, it could be It's like, no,
Mhm.
we in the England is a very high context culture, so we know what it means. We don't have to say it.
And that's the funny thing about the norms. They think that Britain in the 90s had so much diversity. And I think that Harry Potter did really reflect that. And same thing with Canada, same thing with the States. And the fact that we're trying to rewrite history in a sense is really
Oh
sad.
yeah, we
Like that.
kept getting like Roman movies. There's like the Roman invasion. It's like a load of black guys with like Roman uniform.
I know.
Huh?
Like unironic, the BBC keep putting them out. It's so weird.
Very weird.
Very, very weird. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's just Hollywood these days. It's injection of misinformation, which apparently isn't.
Well, look at what they did with Cleopatra. That was a real person. I get the when people are like, this is fake, this isn't real, like wizards and witches aren't real. Understand that. But it's still like if you're gonna adapt something, stay true to the source material. That's just what people want. But they're doing it with real historic figures too. Like that was insane. I remember that Cleopatra stuff when it dropped. And people
Yeah.
like, well, my grandma said she was black. Someone said that. I'm like, what?
Oh
Grandma's
yeah,
wrong. Your grandma's
I
wrong.
don't care what they told you in school. My mom always told me. I don't
Mom
care what
always
they tell you in
said.
school.
My
Cleopatra is
mama
black.
always said. Like
Nobody in her entire life went, your mom was a mentally deficient person.
yeah.
It's the nicest way I could phrase that.
And there are like very few exceptions to like movies, shows, musicals, or whatever you want to call it that have had race swap changes. I really, really, really loved Alexander Hamilton, the musical.
I never seen that.
I thought it was such a great take. It's kind of like Brandy, like the Cinderella movie.
Yeah. I
The-
loved that movie.
And
I
it's
kind of
like
think theatre productions are a bit different. Same with Panto.
exactly because it has to be like a weird take with the type of music, and they had a little bit of rap with hip hop and R&B in it, so it really made sense to have a black cast. And it wasn't obviously true to history, but I think it's a great way to learn a little bit of history if you don't know American history.
It's probably all lies, but no, I think theatre's different because throughout history, you can go back to Shakespearean times. You know,
Oh
the
my
men were in
god,
dresses.
men is women, absolutely.
Yeah, because women didn't act in the theatre, so all the characters had to be played by men. So it's always been a little bit fringe. I think theatre itself has always been a bit more. I mean, maybe not going back that far, but in any kind of recent time, theatre's been a bit more aristocratic. It's not been so much mainstream stuff. I don't really think I'd respect the law at any point in the history of theatre. So
Yeah, and maybe it's because I grew up in theater and dance where characters weren't played by the true to characters, because like obviously when we're kids in high school, you're just gonna pick the best person for the role that is within the group of students. And so when they're
Yeah.
played by whatever race person was for the role, you're not gonna care. Right?
No. Yeah, not for theater. You're right. And back like I said, the Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella was in the 90s and nobody said anything. I mean, I was a kid, but I don't remember hearing anyone talk crap about it. As kids loved it. I still love that movie. And it doesn't even make sense. Like I said, there's a white dad as the king, black queen, and the prince is Asian. Like, okay. But you know what? It was just a good movie for kids. The musical numbers were great. So yeah, I don't know.
you also have to think like, why are you
Disparow's
making
face
this?
was like, what? He's like, that does not
You
make
have to-
sense.
You have to like ask like why you're doing this in the first place, because you had the movies, right? Big massive budgets and everything else. So if you're making a TV series, the main advantage between TV series and movies is because it's so longer, you can do all the characterization. And from the books, you can put in all the stuff that they left out. So you can have a far more accurate, authentic adaptation compared to the movie where you just don't have the time, so you've got to find stuff to cut, which means you're going to cut out important stuff that you're going to put in the TV series. So by changing it even more, and that implies they're going to do what Wheel of Time did, where Wheel of Time used the same excuse that we just don't have time in a series in 8 episodes to do the book, so we need to cut things. And then you find out in episode 3 it's entirely fantastical, and they just made up their own story and added a load of stuff in that doesn't exist. It's like, so you had the time, you just wasted it. And if you're changing what the characters look like, you're going to do that in this as well.
Well, look at Rings of Power. That's how like they wasted so much time on stupid scenes. And
It's just talentless writers. So they genuinely thought you needed a series to introduce a character. This is wild.
Mhm. And it's not in the best way. Like I know Gary brings up like when they go to oh shoot, what's the name of in the second movie when they do the introductions where the horse people, oh my god. I'm gonna just sound so retarded right now.
I don't
They
know.
do the introductions where
Gondor?
Eowyn is within 10 minutes. You
Oh yeah. Well, if you want an example,
Just Drew's face.
you know a
Rohan,
bit
thank you, chat.
that you
Oh, there
know
you
a
go.
bit more. Alice in Borderland, especially the second series, Alice in
Oh my
Borderland. They
god.
do a game, and this is they meet an entirely new group of people. They play the game. It's over in 20 minutes. Most of them are dead, but you care about every one of those deaths of a character you met 20 minutes ago because it introduces you, and it introduces you as they're playing the game. And so
Yes.
what people, whereas if you're in like Rings of Power, people are sitting down and they're just talking at each other, and people think that's what characterization is. It's like, no, in the world you learn about people when they do things. People show you how they are by the way they act and carry themselves through the world. You don't need big long descriptions of people. You can have them acting as they're like engaging with the world. Oh, it's a lost art.
And that's the beauty of like nuance. And I think that Hollywood doesn't have that right now, where it's like they need to say things in order to tell people.
I think they're just thick.
Well, no, they are, but we've seen so many times that like, oh my god, that girl is just so amazing. Repeatedly said again and again about a protagonist, and I'm like, well, she hasn't done anything amazing that I have seen. So how is she amazing? She just gets affirmed that she's amazing. That's not telling me she's actually amazing. Whereas like you see Alice in Borderlands, like a character sacrificing themselves for another, and then you cry about it, and you're like, "Wow," because they're friends.
Well,
That's what they do or
A
whatever.
really early example is when they meet in like the block of flats, and there's that one girl who's like really athletic, and she's climbing up and down all the stuff. Um, and so there's a shooter going around, and he's putting people in danger. And one guy starts screaming, "If you point out where he is, he can't see you, so we can all shout and locate him." And then she's the one out of everybody that sticks up and like calls where he is, and then like jumps to another floor. And so she's putting herself in danger. So that teaches you a lot. She's brave, she's athletic, she's willing to join in groups rather than save herself. You know, learns about a character from that one action. Whereas what Hollywood would do is, oh, you know, you're so brave and intelligent, and you're really you're willing to give yourself up for other people and sacrifice. Oh god, it's
That's
like
yeah.
I genuinely think it's a lack of abstraction. They cannot come up with an external way to describe a character. They can only think from their perspective, so they just describe things how they see the world, and that's
Which
how they
is
describe
just
the world.
words, and that's the thing is humans, they interpret life not just by words, and I mean, this is something that I've grown up to learn, is that people will BS with words all the freaking time,
Oh yeah,
and
don't
you
trust what someone says. Trust what they do.
yeah, look
Exactly.
at, like, what they're doing. Oh, I really hate this when someone says, "I'm a genuine person."
You don't need to say it. You want to hear something? Uh, this girl, I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but she turned out to be just like an awful person. She came into my friend group back in like college years, dating somebody, and she was just awful. And everyone started hating her, and she was so mad about that. She was like, "I'm a good person. I would give the shirt off my back." And she just is sitting there like gassing herself up so hard, and we're all just sitting there like, okay, then go be a good person somewhere else. Bye. Like we don't want to hang out with you.
Y-
But yeah, good people don't usually go around talking about how great they are.
It's the difference between people announcing they've given to charity and then finding out that Keanu Reeves on his birthday spent 5 hours sitting next to a homeless guy talking to him.
Aw,
And
so
he was
he's
supposed to
a
be
good human.
he was supposed to be filming a movie, and they sent people out around the city looking for him, and they just found him next to a homeless guy talking to him in the street.
The stories
We're
of
supposed to start an hour
Keanu.
ago. Where
Oh
is
my
he?
god.
Yeah.
There's
he's
even a
in
video,
person.
in John Wick 4, the fight scene up the stairs. Just a backstage scene. It's like someone recording on a camera phone or something, and he's walking up, just holding all the camera equipment and stuff. And there's a guy walks up, and he clearly goes, "Hang on, you're Keanu Reeves," and then tries to take it off him, and Keanu's like, "No," and just carries on carrying it up. And it's the little things like that that prove how you go through the world. Not, oh, I gave $1 million to charity because I got a tax write-off for it, and then announced it as how good I am. Same people that go to those. We have a thing over here called Red Nose Day, where
We have that too.
yeah, it's for it's for charity, it's for kids, whatever. Those celebrities never donate their own pissing money. They're all asking you to do it. And they're like, well, I donated my time to
They
present
donate
this thing.
time.
Turns out half of them got paid. And I'm like, what? It's like, well, I was here for a charity show. That means I'm awesome.
Something else that like celebrities and just people, the big influencers and stuff do. It's not all of them, because a lot of them, the good ones, they do it like quietly. But when they openly talk about, like you said, donating to charity and stuff, it's because they want, the hype from it. But they usually get a tax write-off on that stuff too.
I mean, technically you do regardless, but like, why
Sometimes
do you
they
have
do
to...
it like, because not just because of that, but because it's like they kind of aren't really losing much when they do it, is what I meant to
Yeah,
get
well,
at.
it's
Not all
like
of them, not all of them.
Even a tax write-off still has a cost, but you're saving 1% of it. But the point is, there is a difference between the person that does a good deed because they want to do a good deed, and the person who does a good deed because they want to use it to virtue signal to get social status points afterwards.
Yeah.
And the point is, if you do anything like that, nobody should know.
And that's the thing.
Exactly.
But charity should not be oh my god, you did so amazing. You're so good for like donating your money for all this. Like, why do you need that? Why do you need to be affirmed about being a good person in that sense? And that's something that, like, I think, especially nowadays, what was it? The ice bucket challenge was the like for me. Like, why are people wasting water?
Oh no, it was better than that. There was because I remember the whole thing. There was what's it called? He was a secret agent thing. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. But he does a thing for saving water, right? And so he used toilet water, which is basically just tap water anyway. So if you've cleaned the toilet first, it doesn't really make much difference. But he literally scooped out water from the toilet to pour over himself, and like, you realize you have to fill that toilet anyway the next time you used it because the water in the toilet serves a purpose. It's not like it's there for lols. So he virtue signaled over that, and the only one that actually did it to a point where I was like, actually, that's kind of cool, was Patrick Stewart, who went, "This is how you do the ice bucket challenge." And he just got 2 ice cubes, put them in a glass, poured whiskey over it, and then wrote a check.
There you go.
That's how you do the ice challenge.
I like that.
Because
That's like,
the best thing about the ice bucket
classy.
challenge was you didn't have to donate if you poured ice cold water over yourself.
But
That was
that's
the get out of jail free card.
Part.
So
Like,
everyone was virtue signaling about how they weren't giving to charity. I was like, this is
know.
the lengths I will go to avoid giving to charity.
No, I
yeah,
like
I'm
that
gonna
though.
pour cold water all over me, which is retarded. But anyways,
And I want to like point out that like a lot of people that we're friends with and stuff, myself included, have done like charity streams. That's different because the money you make from the stream will go. You know what I mean? Because I don't want
It's
anyone to
straight
think that I'm
to-
being
Well,
like
the
like
point of a charity
know-
stream is literally to market it. Like marketing it to as many people as possible increases the amount of money.
Yeah, that's different from tweeting out like, "Wow, I just gave $5,000 to St. Jude's. I'm such a good person." Like there's a difference. Not
I
that
pay
people say that, they
taxes, I don't
probably
give
do.
to charity. You give me 0% taxes, I'll consider it. And even then, I'm probably a good enough person to do it.
I will say there are
He
very
admits
few
it.
charities that are 100% profits, or 100% income to the
Mhm.
charity. The only one I know of, is the Ronald McDonald, where 100% of everything they get goes to the foundation. So that's another thing.
Even then, right? The foundations can be a scam. How much is the person in charge of the foundation
Absolutely.
earning?
Making that
Are they
money.
earning millions? If this is the whole point, it's not a surprise why there's so many celebrities that have their own foundation. Well, I
They're
get
making
paid
money.
I get paid $300,000 a year from it, but I'm raising money for it. It's like, yeah, seriously, I don't trust the charities. Some of them are good, obviously.
Yeah.
A lot of them are scams.
Most are scams, if anything.
I've actually
So
been to one of the Ronald McDonald's houses. It was a field trip back in, like, I don't know, 5th grade or something. And it's nice. It's a nice little setup there. Like they have rooms like for kids to play and everything. And I just remember thinking, like, I want to stay here and play. Probably was like 3rd grade, honestly, because I'm like, I want to play with the toys. But yeah, it was a nice little house. I respect any of these, foundations that are actually doing good work and helping, especially when it's kids. When it's, that's like my biggest thing. That those are the charities that I mostly care about. Not that other ones don't matter, but I don't know, soft spot for kids.
It's like, look, if you're a multi-millionaire celebrity getting paid $20 million for your last movie, and you think giving an hour of your time to advertise a charity is like saving the world or something, you're gonna like, whatever. Like,
Whatever.
there comes a point where if you just conduct yourself throughout your life as a good person, you're kind of improving the world anyway. And if everybody did that, the world would be a better place. But having to come out and go, well, no, you see, I actually did this, and it was for the kids, you see, and then I did that. Piss off. Like, it is not, if you're part of Hollywood, everyone knows what a cesspool Hollywood is. If you're part of Hollywood earning millions of dollars a year, and you are satiating your soul because you think that spending 5 hours at a children's hospital is going to save it, no. This is the whole point. The people that do, it's not just the virtue signaling. It is like, you think that's balancing out everything else you do. You could just be a good person. Shut up. I'm sure there's something, I'm not a Bible person, I don't know the quotes, but I'm sure there's something which is like, you should not revel in your own good deeds.
Yeah,
like something along those lines.
no, I think silent good deeds are the best way to do it. And there have been so many, I've heard of so many like internet scams or like charity stuff that has happened because they're so publicized that it icks me so much. So if you do good deeds, like I never like putting it out there, because then it's like, it seems like you're just trying to get clout.
Yeah,
So
we're gonna have a hook to charity. Gonna set up
I
a
like
new
how
hook
can you say it
to
again?
crypto coin. Look, we know the last one
Duh.
didn't go very well.
Oh
This
my
one's
God.
for charity, though, folks. I'm sure there's absolutely nothing gonna go wrong with this. It's just
Let's
as
start-
legitimate as everything
Let's
else.
start Saucy coin. Let's just hop on the
No.
bandwagon. I'm kidding. I was talking about that earlier. How
You legitimately have to be pissed to invest in
yesterday.
it.
Yeah.
It's the only
and-
way you'd be that
Yeah,
stupid.
you have to blow a 0.08 in order to invest in this coin. I'm talking about an alcohol breathalyzer, not a.
I was hoping so, because
Rating.
otherwise you will have come up with your own ranking system. And you're like, no, that one was a definite 0.05.
I mean,
can do better than that.
0.08 out of 10 is pretty low bar.
Well, yeah, you're like, that's definitely not my best performance. You're there with a stopwatch. It's like, no, I could do it faster than that.
Yeah, that happy medium. Okay, too
Yeah.
long, too short.
You're like, maybe I need to slow it down a bit.
See, Ian, thank you for the 50 pounds. I have worked for charities. Often about 4% actually goes to the cause.
Which
Yeah,
is the
that's,
sad
That's
part.
actually very normal. Yeah.
it's very
'Cause, like,
sad.
I think because I worked in nutritional science, and the amount of like stuff that people try to implement to change across in like Africa, like it is shocking how much makes it across with some of the charities.
Oh, well,
out
it's
there.
even when you're doing international stuff, yeah, because
Yeah,
then the government
that's-
can intercept it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The government, and then there's the people who work for the company. So if people are making a salary already, how much are people making? Like, what is an average salary for the company?
Some of these people, yeah, some of the charity like CEOs are earning millions upon millions upon millions.
So
Yeah.
be careful which charity you donate
Yes.
to.
Do your research, guys. I was actually
Well, you
talking
get to a
about
point
that
where you're
with-
like, you may as well just. It's the same thing as one of the things with charity begins at home. It doesn't just mean you should look after your family first, although that is
your
largely what it means.
country.
But it's
your
also, you
country.
should probably focus on your own family and then spread out slowly. So if you have like a hospice or something down the road that you really care about, maybe that'd be a good charity to invest in, rather than something that's given to a country on the other side of the world that you don't know anything about, have never been to, and don't know any of the people there. Should probably improve your local area before you worry about that
And
kind of stuff.
there are so many local areas. Like one of the sorry, I'm not doing this for clout. Sorry. One of the charities that
I don't give to charity.
So Canadian, sorry.
Sorry.
Definitely, I'm not interested in clout at all.
Ed, 1 second, Ed. I'll get to the super chats in a minute.
One of the so I used to volunteer a lot at this like soup kitchen, and just seeing how they interacted with the women and what they did with their money, and like I looked into their books. So yes, there are people that were paid, but I would say more than 50%, more than 60%, I believe, went towards the actual stuff, because they do need people to actually run it, to do all the stuff, and then all the little people will follow through. It really just depends on the charity.
Yeah, that's true.
So but if people are making millions off of it, F them.
Yeah, that's not okay.
But yeah,
blood donation is
another good one. If you can do
Yeah.
that, it's easy. I don't know in the States. I think you get paid for that, right? Or no?
I think it depends. I think you can, but there's also places you can go where you just donate it and it goes to a good cause and you're not getting paid. Like, because I
Yeah.
have friends that used to do it all the time and they didn't get paid. They just did it, because they were blood type O, the universal. I
Yeah.
had a friend that just, like I can save lives. But something about the charity thing that I had someone say this to me before, and it was it's very true. Like, if you have a kid and your kid's hungry, are you going to feed your neighbor's kid before your kid? That's kind of the same thing with charity, which there's nothing wrong with helping, people in other countries. But as just Bruce said, it makes more sense to keep it in like your neighborhood and, your country. So I get it. I get what you're saying. I just wanted to throw that in there before we got off topic. What are you laughing at, Disbrew?
What?
I was looking on Twitter, and Grums was complaining that Grox had an update, and it's not generating as spicy a women as it used to be. So I tested it and posted it, and she was just like basically showing everything out there. And then you went, it does save lives. And my brain just went, thick thighs saves lives. And I couldn't get it out of my head. And it was just the two topics. And I'm like, I can't say anything because it's not related to the conversation at all. And my brain just then started repeating it and repeating it. It's like, no, I can't help it anyway.
Disbrew.
My brain connected the two things that were happening at the time.
Okay. I'm putting thick thighs save lives pictures just to
Here, I'll pull this. Don't worry.
I couldn't generate an image. R.I.P.
I'll catch up to
Really?
the older super chats, but since this is on topic, Ed Song, thank you for the 5. Ed says religious charities are really sus. The stories about teens that go over to build schools where they have no experience and the adults undo the work at night. Really? I've never heard that one, but it wouldn't surprise me. Hold on. We will catch up with the super chats in a minute. Disbrew is having fun playing with AI.
Well, yeah, I got a thing back, but I think if I say draw first, it will generate an image.
Here. Well, now I gotta play with it.
It didn't. The picture doesn't have thighs in it. Like, what is the point? Hang on, I'm showing you. What is the point? It literally doesn't even understand what it's told.
Let's see.
The prompt was draw thick thigh, and I'm not complaining about the picture, but that is not what I asked for. Now, when I said before it was just draw, it was like, oh. And then it was like thick, and so he gave me this is a humorous phrase. But this was Grum's thing, gorgeous fantasy sorceress in a low-cut dress swirling and casting a magic spell, and he's like, oh, they don't show the low-cut dress, they do. They do.
Yeah, it doesn't even let me write thighs. It says, unfortunately, I can't generate that kind of image.
Mine did. You have to put draw, thick thighs,
I did.
Save lives. Well, it let me.
Not me. I guess in UK they still let us
It
do
did.
that.
Now, it didn't show thighs at all. It was the waist up. It basically drew another sorceress for some reason. I don't know why. It's probably Elon's Path of Exile 2 fetish. That's what it is.
Maybe.
Well,
For
he's into
chunky
it. He said
legs.
it was a combination between Diablo and Elden Ring, which I kind of understand. Some of the bosses, you know, you do actually have to dodge them and consider their moves like Elden Ring.
Well, X-Ray stepped away. Let's catch up on these super chats. Brian Smith, thank you for the Canadian 10. Honestly, if if real, this kills any interest for me in the series, the Harry Potter casting.
I think because it came from the Hollywood Reporter, it is real. It is part of the casting process, and they are considering him. I think all of those are true. It just depends whether they actually choose him for the role or choose someone else. But I think that he is part of the casting process, and they are considering him.
Yeah, whether it actually happens, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just not been finalized. But if they do choose someone else, I don't think that means this is fake. I think this was just part of the process.
Yeah. Did any of you watch the anime
No.
Interceptees Reviewers? It was about guys reviewing prostitutes of different races. Did I accidentally unstar something? I think I might have. Crap.
Wow. Well, there we go.
Oh, I did. Sorry, Chris Nicholson. I accidentally hit the unstar on that one, but for 5, he said, oh wait, no, it's right here. Never mind. I didn't never mind, it's there. I thought I unstarred it. I thought I unstarred it because I thought it double clicked on me, but no,
Don't drink,
I did
ladies
not.
and gentlemen. You'll
I
end up
love
like this.
how
I didn't.
well this stream is about drinking, so I don't know.
But no, I've never even heard of interspecies reviewers.
No.
No, it's apparently had 12 episodes. It's a
Okay.
comedy, and it has uncensored versions.
I had to go all the way back. I had to go all the way back on the stream, and it's okay. Chris Nicholson for 5. What's interesting about Snape is that he was actually based in personality and appearance on a real man that J.K. knew since childhood. He was white.
Mhm.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that, but I don't know anything about the Harry Potter stuff really.
This is the whole point.
Just a little bit.
People act like I don't remember living in this country. It's like, I remember what the country was like. It's changed.
Yeah. Yeah. Ed
I
Song
don't know
for
how
5.
old JK is, but if she's,
Look it up.
I
She's
imagine
probably
she's
gonna
older
be.
Probably
than
in her
me.
50s.
I was gonna say she's probably like 53
Well, that's like
or something.
the more old than 59. Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So she will have known throughout her entire life almost entirely just English people. So yes, obviously when she
She
writes
should
something, it will
know.
just be English people.
And I think that
Well, I mean British people. But,
even
you know.
in Britain, and it's probably this, like, it's the same in Canada. Like, in the city, it's super diverse, but when you go out to this country,
Yeah. I've also heard there was stats that came out about Canada recently, and it was something about 20% of the population has arrived in the country in like the last 4 or 5 years.
yes.
Wow.
So there's been a massive amount of immigration, and I think it has been, what's the word for it? It's been eclipsed by the American immigration, especially with the Mexican border. So
Yeah,
you
no,
don't
but
hear
it's different because you have a lower population. So America being like 330 million people, if they have 3 million people in as a percent, it's way less noticeable than like Canada.
But the crazy part is, and I've heard about it from a lot of people, is like people are complaining about the amount of support. If you look at least in Canada, the amount that these immigrated families get, especially the refugees, versus even just people on welfare
Mhm.
or your retired people who have put money into the system, their whole lives and sweat into the system, they get way less than some of these immigrated families, which is
Well, you should
Yeah.
get nothing.
It's not.
what?
You should get nothing.
Like I'm just saying, out of the those situations,
Mhm.
I think it's disgusting that people have put their taxes in, and people who are doing nothing.
Well, exactly. They should get nothing. Yeah, I should not be able to go to Canada and suddenly claim benefits. That's weird.
Yeah, no,
to
it's
me.
stupid. It's
I
absolutely.
mean, I even take it further. Like, if I went to Canada and, assuming I didn't go like private healthcare, if I like joined your healthcare, like public healthcare system, and it's like there's a Canadian person and me, I should become second because you're a Canadian person, and so
But
that's
that's not
all
the
logical to me. That obviously the native person should take precedence.
But that's not the case. I think
no.
a lot of the we'll say, in my head, this is my perception. It's not true or factual. is that this will eventually
The
be
word
a
is
voting
opinion.
number. Yes, this will be a voting number for a certain person in the future because they gave money. And as a person that has gotten financial benefits at some point, trickery or not,
Oh,
I
yeah,
see
yeah.
through it. I see through it now. It's bribery for voting power.
It happens.
Absolutely.
Ed
What
Song, thank you for
democracy
the
always ends in. That's why it
yeah.
doesn't work.
Portlanders were not born, but dug up from the earth. Evil infused into their souls. They fear mere, for they see nothingness. Disbrew the chronicler.
Portland is because it used to be California, and I was like, no, California's a big place, and being in the UK, I don't really appreciate how big California is. So
I
California,
don't appreciate your size.
well, no, because it's like Texas. So I saw a map where they imposed Texas on top of Europe, and it's like most of continental Europe, and like just Texas from size. And so I did realize that I used to go, and I think when I say California, the people living in California know who I mean because they probably they're like, yeah, I don't like those people either. But when you say Portland, I think Portland's a bit more. I don't know where Portland is, but I've seen the people in Portland, and it's way more specific example.
Never
But
been
I do
there.
like calling them Californian beliefs.
Me neither.
I didn't hear this, Marcus. Ellen.
Oh yeah, I heard
Ellen
about this.
DeGenerate, yeah,
Ever
she got
since the
flooded.
election.
Yeah. You know, I have my thoughts on celebrities that left. They didn't actually leave because Trump became
Oh
president.
no, she did come over here.
No, but that's not why. It's because she's friends with people like P. Diddy, and she's on certain lists that are probably going to come out. That's my theory.
I mean,
There's
she
also that there's no way that since everything happened over there, she managed to get permission to enter this country, live in this country, and buy a mansion.
So
Like she
quickly?
probably had all that stuff already.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the crazy part is like people are like, "Oh, I'm going to leave the states." It's not easy to leave to certain countries.
Yeah.
You have a certain amount of time that you're even allowed just because the countries are friendly with each other. Like even me as a Canadian, I can only go to the states for 6 months out of the year unless I get a visa.
I'm surprised you can say 6. Most of the stuff over here is like 3.
No, because we're so close, and I think there's a lot of
Oh, you
like,
have special
right?
agreements.
Yeah, special. It is a special agreement, and it's the same thing if I go to Europe. There is a special agreement. Otherwise, I would need visas, right? Like when I go to Asia, I
For
need
the UK,
visas.
most things that we have are like 3 on, 3 off. Then you can do like 6 months in a year.
Which is, I think, a very fair trade, especially in the Europe area, because obviously there's so many different countries you could live in.
Oh no, that's different because we're not actually.
Okay,
We're
yeah,
part of the
Brexit.
European region, but we're not part of the EU. The EU just has free movement. It's actually so weird now, because in the time where I'm like, okay, the UK is, so I would actually go to another European country, and now I can't because we left. So the one country in the EU that I'd be like, okay, maybe, or maybe the 2 countries in the EU, and I can't even go there anymore without going
Which
through
would
an
be
application process.
Which would be the primary other EU country you'd want to like live in or vacation?
They used to be 2. There's probably like more. It's basically you flee east as far as possible. Now this is one of the hesitant bits. Is everyone knows in Eastern Europe there's a big thing going on at the moment. So I would like that to be resolved first, so that I know what's going on. Because a lot of these countries border those countries, and I'm like, I'd rather not be that close, to be honest. But assuming that is resolved, one of them would have been Poland. Poland is literally just gone. So they're joining the EU project at record speed. Hungary is probably at the moment the most likely one. There's also other things like Romania is. I think you could live a decent life in Romania.
My brother loved Romania when he was there for her work. So,
for me, from a European perspective, the best countries, and which also happen to be the lowest tax countries, just coincidentally, but you end up, you have to go to the places that other people don't want to go, because the people that want to go to those countries are the ones ruining the countries in the first place. So if they're like, we don't go to these countries because they're poor, you're like, I need to go to those because you're not there. And that's how you end up. And Hungary is the one place where every time the Europe says, we want to do this, Hungary go, no. And I respect people that go, no. And so
I'm good.
that
No,
seems
thanks.
to be the most likely one that I'm thinking about.
Well, I guess we'll
those are
see.
really-
I guess we'll see.
I
mean,
need, I
hopefully you
like to
don't
say,
have
I
to
need
go.
to visit these things, and that's what I've set up for next year. I want to travel to a few places, see what I like.
Oh my god! Should we do a Euro trip?
Oh gosh, that would be fun.
I would love that.
that
I
would be
mean, it's a
great.
long way to fly to you, but yeah, if you want to do like a
I mean-
European...
I meant big adventurer. I love the stuff.
Yes.
Well,
It would be
I'm just
fun.
thinking like the length of flight.
Oh,
Far.
UK is like 8 hours. It's not that far.
Oh.
It's like
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, because for me, like I was looking at flights to Hungary. It's literally like £100 for me. I could fly there anytime I wanted. I fly there for a weekend. You know, it's that kind of flying to Europe is literally like hopping on a bus.
Yep.
So
Oh, Mr. Shaggins, I hope everything's okay.
Oh no.
I know.
oh
We'll be
Uh,
thinking about you. Hope you're all good.
yeah, I
Thanks for
assume
popping
things
in to say
aren't
hi.
that bad because you can pop in. I guess
Yeah.
I've not been in
Possibly.
hospital for so long. I don't even know like what internet access they have or anything.
some hospitals have good internet. As a person who has worked at many hospitals or visited hospitals, it depends
'Cause
on the hospital.
I think I'd just sit in bed with a laptop and watch TV and be fine.
If
Yeah.
you could plug your laptop in, and also if you have a neighbor.
Do they not have plugs on every bed? I thought they would have done that.
No, they
by
have
now.
plugs, but I'm saying the HDMI plug into the TV if you wanted to watch that. But no, they have power plugs. They have
This is
power
probably
plugs.
a different in our healthy. We aren't getting our own TV over here. You're lucky if they don't murder you.
Oh,
Which is also,
Oh.
by the way, I actually can't take the piss out of your country anymore because we are passing the same stuff. It's just got through the second reading, so it's not law, but they want it to be. And so soon, everyone will be able to make the joke, do you want British healthcare?
Maine? Are we saying Maine?
There's a similar version, yes. It's gone through the second reading. Now, apparently, some of the people voted it through the second reading because they wanted more discussion. But given the people in power at the moment, and the rest of the people who aren't in power but are in charge, I think it's basically a done deal.
Oh my gosh. Now,
Which is one of the reasons I'm leaving.
I've always
I
said
don't want the
this
government to kill me.
as okay, as someone who's worked in healthcare, there are people, and we've talked about this on this show actually, because I remember talking about this with Brian on here.
Yes,
There- I think
it's
if you
care-based
have-
versus justice-based reality.
I think terminal illness where you don't want to live in pain. I understand that. Okay, that's the only reason I would understand wanting to do that. Other than that,
The reason you say no to
Don't-
all of it is because they'll go, yeah, but what about this, though? Don't you just want this? And then they shift it, and they shift it, and they shift it. You say
And-
no
and
to
that's the
everything.
thing.
It's like, no, you shouldn't be doing this. And this applies to anything, any of these topics. The reason why you say no to everything is because you have the scum that want to push it further. And so you do, no,
Yeah.
no, actually, no.
it is really tough because I've seen so many families deal with people who are terminally ill, dementia, and all that, and it's not easy to
Aw.
see. And
There's a reason
Sad.
why the Axeman
who's Axeman?
used to be the guy that used to behead people. There's
Oh,
a
the
reason why he used to wear a
executioner.
bag over. He used to wear a bag over his head, and it was a specific guy that did it. It wasn't just because it was a skill to do in the first place to do it cleanly and everything, but he wore a bag over his head so he didn't know his identity, so he could actually do a normal life around it. I wouldn't have known who he was, but it's symbolic. I think there's something systematically and inherently wrong with the person that's supposed to heal you doing that. It's like you should have like the guy with the black bag over his head, the shame by society, who's literally living in a cave up on a hill somewhere. Like the last time he had electricity was 1974, and like you bring him in, and he like has a horrible life, and everyone hates him, and he's like, I've taken on this burden to do it myself. Like, not the doctor. He can't be walking into one room and treating somebody, and then walking into another and turning off the electric. That's
So-
not how that goes.
I bring this question. I'm turning off the electric now. with MAID, it is a drug-induced way to remove a person from the earth. Okay, I understand that.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
that is
Yes.
perfect.
My
Okay,
phrasing was to do with trying to avoid YouTube.
yeah, no, and that's the thing. So when I, because the way you phrased it, and this is the ethical question, and this is a positive question.
It's
So you should feel
unethical.
confident.
It's always unethical.
But no,
This is
no,
the
no,
whole
no.
point.
What I'm trying to say is, like, say you are at person's end of life of care, and you're the only machine that is letting them live is the thing that's making them breathe.
Oh, this is a very
And
this
that's
is the
why this is
same
an
thing
ethical.
as when people go
Oh, like pulling the plug. Yeah.
It is
if
pulling the plug.
this is the same example that people use when you're talking about younger people coming into the world, and they go, okay, but what if it was forced upon them? And the answer always comes back, if I made an exception for that, would you still care about the rest? And they always go, yeah, I still want that to happen as well.
But
And this is the thing, there's no point talking about fringe cases because fringe cases mean nothing.
no,
because
but
it's
that
never
is
about the fringe
actually
cases.
it. There are so
No, it
many
isn't.
cases, and there's so
There
many
was an
things you
Olympic
have to think
person
about.
in Canada
Yes,
who wanted a
literally,
stair lift
this.
installed, and the government went, "Can I just top you?" And it's like,
Okay, well,
no,
that is a special case.
no, it's not a
Realistically.
special. That's the main case. This is the whole point. It's not about
No,
the fringe
how is
cases. It's
that
about the
not?
majority of the cases.
That is a fringe case.
No, it
regardless,
isn't,
because that is
because
not-
all what
Oh
you have,
my
you have a
God.
government system where the
Oh my God.
medical people are their job is to save money because they have a limited amount of money. This is different than the American system where when you go in, you pay, and so they want you to spend more money. If anything, they are encouraged to spend more money. Whereas when you have a tax-based system, now you need to save money. Now you're rationing it, and in that, their job is to say what costs the most money? Old people in hospitals. And
No,
so it's
absolutely.
way
That does
cheaper if
not
you can just
cost
get rid of
people
them.
money.
Just march them off a cliff. It'll save everyone a load of money.
I only say this because you have not seen the actual detrimental pain that people have been through being in these hospital situations, regardless of the family or the actual person in there.
Care-based morality. It's evil. It really is. The care-based morality belongs in nowhere except the home. It does not scale because you end up topping old people.
Because
it's a
then-
horrible, horrific, evil
okay,
ideology
so-
the moment it goes across a home.
So you
Like
said
this might be
wait. Can I-
no. This is something like if this was your own family, right? This is what I mean within the home.
No, no,
so
no.
say it was like say this was your own mother, and
I
she's like,
know what she wants. I know what
No,
my mother
this-
wants. I
that's
know
my
what my
point.
father wants.
Yeah, exactly. It's if it's your own mother in your own home, and somebody made the decision, and it's done in a local environment. Fine. The moment you like give that power away to a greater entity outside and you scale that above to a government and now they're making those decisions for other people across a nation.
No, I'm not
that's
saying
evil.
the government is making decisions for all these people. People have to take this as well. There is such thing as consent. So
No, there are loads of people where doctors have put DNR on
Oh my gosh.
sheets when
But that
people
is
haven't
consent.
agreed.
So
you
I'm
have
gonna
to sign a DNR in order to consent to DNR.
yeah. So what I
You
think
are
this is what-
literally you are the person
Hold
going,
on.
no, we have
I'll
made
wait
the
till you're
perfect
done.
system, and now it's like no, people are in the system.
That's perfect. I'm just saying a DNR has
we
to
would
be
pass
signed
out, Kara.
in
There,
order
there
for
is no point where
DNR.
a medical professional should be. Yeah, actually, I think they've had enough.
As a person
No.
who actually had to save someone and actually stop someone's heart because there was
That's
a
the
freaking
point.
DNR.
Yes, you
is
should be
because that
saving
is
people.
consent. No, because I
You
was
should be
saying
saving
that.
people.
I was trying to save them, but because there was a DNR, because
I
someone
think they should make you wheel them off a cliff.
no.
I think if you're going to do it, you should have to see the results. I think you should have to see the consequences. I think you should have to do it in the most brutal way possible so you can really get a grip of exactly what you're doing. And this goes for everything. I think on the other end as well, they should be forced to see the consequences of their actions, to see the real gore of what's
No,
going
but
on.
I do
Make
see
them
the
do it
consequences of
themselves.
their
They get their own
actions.
forceps up there. Like, this is the whole point. People are separated. Oh, this is a nice thing. Do you want to know what happened? Did you ever hear about the pods? This is a great story, the pods. You can Google this.
Wait, which pods?
There was a certain pod that was installed, and it's like, it was supposed to automate what you're talking about, so that no professional needed to be involved. Then there was a really weird thing happened. The first person to go through the law and use this pod, it worked. They weren't around afterwards. Very strange marks on their neck, though. Very bizarre. Because they were supposed to go in this pod, it was all supposed to be natural. Why did they have all these weird bruising around there? it turns out it didn't work. And so a doctor took it upon themselves to just... And that was the first use case. You can Google this. It's the most horrific story ever. But this is what you're talking about. Care-based morality doesn't work. It's mainly about justice. You cannot scale this kind of stuff. It should be the local thing. If you want to do it yourself.
So I think, real
Wait,
quick,
wait, no,
I
I want to understand what Disper's saying. Sorry, Wicked. Stop, please.
Okay.
Care-based
them finish.
morality meaning a person's care for a person, or what do you mean by care-based?
Okay, there's very... Okay, when you start describing it, it gets quite complicated, because it comes from various different philosophers. The reason I like care versus justice-based morality, because it was agreed for on both sides of the aisle. So it was a man made up for it first, and then a feminist came along, and when I actually don't like that, because this guy came along and said, basically, men go through 5 stages of morality, and women go through 3. The feminist didn't like that. She was like, well,
But
you're
what does
saying
that
that
mean?
women... I'm explaining. That women go through 3, and that makes them sound stunted in some way. And so she decided to come up with care versus justice-based morality. So she came up with the terms. She basically just agreed with him and then gave them different terms. But it means, like, justice requires other things. So essentially, justice can be summed up as you get what you deserve, which means that you can do horrific things to a person, but they deserve it, and so that's just. Care-based morality is a bit different in the fact that you can end up with going, actually, I think that prisoner, he actually deserves to be treated right, because he's a person after all, isn't he? And you value care more than setting the thing correct. And so you end up in a situation where you are talking about the criminals, and you are talking about various different things. I care for them the most. I care for what they really want. I actually think maybe we should get rid of those old people. And the justice-based morality goes, no, actually,
So
that's
you're
not
saying-
right. That's not just. That's not a good thing to do
So what do
to
you
a
prefer?
person. I don't think we should be topping old people.
So
I don't think we should be topping people because they cost too much on the NHS, which is our healthcare system.
So is that a justice or a care-based, or what is that in your opinion?
Care-based would be going, oh no, but they're suffering, and so we should just throw them off a cliff. That's care-based morality.
No, it's not.
That's my point. But that's what care-based leads you. Care-based leads you to really horrific acts on people.
No,
But
it
it says
doesn't
it's because- I'm
necessarily.
doing it
I
because
was
I
saying
care.
legislation.
You're the
maybe
one going,
not
but they're in
that.
pain.
No,
They're
no.
in
what
pain,
I'm
so
saying
obviously
is-
we should just yeet them. We should put them in a catapult and fire them
I
into
never
space.
said that. I never said that. I said there are.
Admittedly, you didn't say we should
situations-
fire them into space.
No. Yes, I never said that.
Yeah, that would have been a bit weird. I agree.
No, what I'm saying is there are situations where if a person has designated their caregiver or the first judgment person in order to designate their medical care, they said, if I am, a vegetable, or I have dementia where I'm actually a nuisance to a family, maybe it's time to pull the plug. And that
And what you end up with in your system in Canada right now is a load of people going, don't you really want to, though? Look, I mean, you're taking benefits. Wouldn't it be better if you don't actually want to be
That
around because
doesn't
you're kind of just a
necessarily
drag on your
mean-
old family. You're
That
real
doesn't
and old, and
necessarily
you're
mean that's
really got a
right.
drain on all the people around you. Wouldn't it just be better?
That
And we
is
know
not-
that happens because people going for stair lifts and they get asked if they want to top themselves.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So I think what Disru is trying to say, I'm gonna try and sum it up, is that the hospital.
I'm saying we shouldn't
have
murder
a
people.
choice. Well, no, I agree with that. But what X-ray is trying to say is, say like someone in my family was sick, and they give you like the power to make a decision. Like if I'm
Power of
on life
attorney.
support, power of attorney. If a machine's keeping me alive, I don't want to live like that, so pull the plug. That's them making the
Because
decision, and that's you should respect it because that's what they want. But what Disru is saying is, I get what he's saying, but it's not that black and white. There's a gray area.
We're
He
at
doesn't
two
think
opposite
the-
thoughts.
Yeah, but he doesn't think that the hospital should make your decision or coerce the decision. I think.
I'm not
think-
even against.
What do you mean?
Like, I understand X-Ray's point when she's like, there are some people in the world who are like, they're in such horrific states that maybe it would just be nicer. I'm just saying that because I'm not saying care-based morality is wrong. I'm not saying it's evil. I'm saying it's evil when it scales past a certain point. And I think there's actually something to do with taking on the moral responsibility and the severity of the act yourself. For instance, many people like to put down a pet, and nobody wants to do it. You should probably still do it yourself, though. I think the severity of the act means something more when it's done by you, because you are taking on like the pain and the trauma yourself, and I think that means that you will be more responsible about it than the government would, because the government doesn't care. You're a statistic to them. The doctor, you're just the next one in line. He's done thousands before. It doesn't mean anything. And you end up in a thing where they just start going off, and I think that's more limited when it's done by people that actually care, and like, no, you do it. And
Yeah.
I'm not even saying that's a good idea, but I'm saying it's better than the government doing it. I don't think anyone should really be doing it, but I certainly don't want the state doing it.
There are, at least in some of the hospitals that I've worked at, and I don't know if this is at every hospital, there are a handful, like maybe 1 to 3 people, if there are end of life care issues, we'll call that like debates, ethicists that will talk to families about this sort of stuff. But I don't know, in terms of like the stuff that hasn't made national news, those are atrocious at the very least. You
Do you
know
know the interesting thing about science?
what?
Science is inherently evil, because what science does is it tries to remove itself from any morality at all. It wants to look at the world from an objective standard, which means it deliberately gets rid of ethics and morality as a whole. This is why psychology studies have to go to an ethics board, because the psychologists aren't ethical. They don't know morality. They want to study things because they do. I don't really think you should do something if it requires an ethics board. I don't really think you should be kind of making your morality and ethics extraneous to yourself and palming them off to somebody else to decide whether you're a good person or not, whether you're allowed
You're
to
not
do
a
it.
good person, but to help make you decide.
I think if you require an
what is
ethics board, you're
needed.
not a good person.
Not the person. I'm talking about what end of life care or care in general for a person is.
Yeah, I don't really want whether something is good or not to be decided by 5 random
No.
people
It's
in a
not. It's
room
not
somewhere on a board.
decided by it specifically, but it is helped by it. Because what if you had brother 1 saying, "We want to keep this person alive to get the benefits." Brother 2 was like,
Well, they shouldn't be getting benefits in the first place.
but they could be. They could be getting checks, whether it be their pension from the government or from their previous job. That could be an issue. And then there could be brother 2 being like, Dad said that if he was ever in a vegetative state where he didn't live after, or like he couldn't get awake after like 6 months, he wanted to pass away. And that's what, at least my idea of what an ethicist or an ethics board is supposed to help them with.
No, I think anytime you need to go to an ethics board, you're probably evil.
I think we know what
Both
the chat
brothers?
wants.
I think everybody. If you need an ethics board, if you need somebody else on a board to decide the correct decision, you're probably evil. Like, ethics are an internal moral thing between you and God, basically.
Or is
and I'm
it
not even
more
religious.
so the
But
dad didn't write
at no point in my life do I
help?
want a board of people to decide what is the correct and moral thing to. That sounds horrific. Like, who are these people? Why are they the people that decide morality as a whole?
But if like the brothers couldn't figure out what to do, like who helps?
It's like the various different decisions between morality, or whether it's an evolution-based or God-based. At no point is it 5 scientists, which, like I said, scientists have absolutely no concept of morality in the first place. That's what science is. It's deliberately detached itself from morality. They shouldn't be on an ethics board in the first
But
place.
I'm just saying, if the brothers can't decide between the 2 brothers, how do you decide? How does the doctor decide what they do if there's no power of attorney, if there's no will?
I think if the person's alive, they should be alive.
No, but they're they are not conscious to make a decision. How do you decide what to do? And this
Well,
is
people
not
always talk about
supposed
life
to
as if it's a really complex thing. It's not. It's a brainwave activity. Now, I'm not religious, so
no,
I probably have an
it
easy
is.
time of
It is a
than anything else.
brainwave activity. But if they're if they're in a coma, if they're not awake, if they're not able to like
If they have brainwave
voice
activity,
their own
it's a pretty objective
opinion,
measurement.
well, no. But if they cannot wake up to make a judgment and decision, How do you decide how that money is spent?
Now, the problem you have is because this is the whole thing. You're rationing healthcare because you're coming from a socialist system. I wouldn't have the socialist system in the first place. I think it's evil.
So what would you do?
I would have everyone pays for their own healthcare. You can't afford the healthcare, well,
You're dead?
yeah. This is the way the world's always been. I am not an anti-survival of the fittest kind of person.
I mean, it is what it is. I live in this healthcare system. This is just something that I've lived with.
And
and
it's
known
like
my
anything.
whole life, so
I do. I don't know whether most people do, but this is the way I've always thought about it. You always have two beliefs. There's one of what is the correct thing to do in this situation in the broken environment we already live in, and what would be the correct thing to do if you could control all the variables. And so, it's a bit Motte and Bailey of me to go, oh, well, I wouldn't have healthcare in the first place.
okay, Wicked, I'm done.
Let's catch up on super chats. We got some all the way back to the Snape conversation from an hour ago. Sorry. Gary Thomas for 5. The Snape casting news is essentially stupid when you consider that he was based on a real person, Rowling's high school chemistry teacher. Okay. Yeah. That makes it even more silly. Ed Song for 5. Actually, girl, you are talking about Zendaya in real life. I don't know. I don't care why people are attempting to puff her up.
When did I talk about Zendaya?
I don't think you did.
I never talked about her specifically. I was saying that
I do agree, though.
Yeah, I do too.
There are some actors or actresses, and I'm speaking specifically at least about Wicked and Elphaba. I did not like the actress at first, but when I saw her as the character, I was convinced. I'm like, I love her as the character. Zendaya,
she's
is
pretty
there
mid.
any role I liked her in? I don't think there's a role that I was like, oh my god, she is perfect for the role. She's been okay.
She was
I
way
love the
too
Dune
plain
movies where
for
people
Mary
are like,
Jane.
she looks like this the entire movie. Like the entire movie.
Mathan for Norwegian 100. Thank you.
But,
what about all the immigrants in
for the last thing,
Just
I
for
do
Q.
think that's the difference between things like Hollywood and TV and YouTube. Like YouTube is voted for by the viewers. If you don't watch people, they stay at the level. If more people watch them, they stay at that level. So it's kind of like all the individual viewers are voting for who they want to be watched. Because the more people watch them, the more people watch them. Hollywood picks people and go, you will like this person. And I think that's what they do with the super chat. That's what Zendaya has. They keep putting her in stuff and like, you will watch this. You will watch
You
her.
will watch it and you will
And I'm like,
it.
no.
I heard she's really good in that Apple TV series. I forgot the name of it, but one
I
day
don't
I'll
know.
Nobody's
I don't know.
ever seen. I don't think anyone's ever watched an Apple TV series drama. Or anything.
I want
I
to
don't
watch
think it
this
happens.
actress movie. I heard it's really good.
I want to
but-
see
Well-
that too. I like oh my gosh. Taron Egerton. He's in that, right? I think he's in that. I like him.
No idea.
Severance season 2 is coming out, and I'm like, I like the first one, but in the second one, you need answers. That's going to be the issue.
Nathan, thank you for the 100 Norwegian. What about all the immigrants in Canada bragging about the free food from food banks on TikTok?
Oh my god. You know what? Regardless of who you are, food banks do give you free food. So it is true. So I don't know what you're trying to make a point out of it.
Yeah, I think that's
Just-
basically backing up kind of what you said earlier.
Oh, in terms of like the immigrants coming in and getting all the free
when you're on about people come in and they get money, and it's like,
Well, you
I
can go
don't
to
think
any
many
food
people-
bank. You can go to any food bank at any like income that you have. They don't verify that stuff.
Drinking.
I don't think. There
Mm.
was a guy who got fired from his like bank job because he was bragging about how he gets free food from the food bank. So just don't be stupid if you're going to do stuff like that.
Mhm.
Also, like if you're making money, like just buy your own food.
But the
Another
people who
focus
actually
on
need
that
it get
would be-
it.
But hey.
Slosher, thank you for the 10 Canadian. Canadian government also subsidies wages of immigrants, so their wages are below minimum wage. Teenagers and college students cannot find work at all. Hospitals are full. Housing is in a shortage.
Hospitals are not full. Unless you're
Ours
talking about
are.
patients. There are actual need for workers. I've seen the job postings, and there are you just have to find them. Yeah,
Probably
you're not hard
patients.
enough.
Is it Is there a lot of people
For
going to the
my
hospitals?
country, that's not infinitely expanding it and keep throwing money at it is not the solution.
No,
You can't
I
just
will-
keep throwing money into
okay.
the black pit, which is the healthcare system.
I will say
Uh,
this. There are a lot of Gen Z who has started working and they do not have the work ethic of a lot of other people
Oh,
for them. They will have one part-time job and be okay with it. When I started working, I had 2 part-time jobs and was balancing the 2 to have full-time hours. So if you are only okay with a part-time job as a Gen Z person, then you're not working hard enough.
no.
He is right though about the teenage system. A lot of the jobs which used to go to teenagers just don't exist anymore or have been replaced with cheaper workers.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. Like the job, the 16-year-old working like doing newspaper rounds and stuff, all that's gone.
Oh, it's
Not
cars
anymore.
that literally just throw it on the driveway now.
I had to
Yeah,
pay
I
for
always
when I
see
was
that in
younger.
American. I've seen that in American movies since I was a kid. Like a kid on a bike going around lobbing newspapers from the streets.
No, it's from
Like,
car.
what is this?
It's a
They
car.
always put it through your door. Well, they used to when we had newspapers.
Yeah, newspaper.
Lazy.
I-
I'm telling
I
you.
was like the movies where they'd like lob it and he'd like hit an old woman in the face or something. It's like this is why you don't do that kind of thing. You're assaulting random strangers.
Maybe they'll like
Um,
it.
They might. Ed Song, thank you for the 5.
Every
I
morning
love
she's standing out there.
just waiting to get.
Waiting.
She's
Back.
like Morpheus. Stop trying to hit me and hit me.
I love the show. I really do. As much as
love-
we fight, guys. I love the show.
It's just debating.
No, yeah, exactly. This isn't. To me, what we've just done wasn't a fight. I wasn't
No, it's
arguing with you. This was an exchange of different
debating.
beliefs, and it's not going to change anything. It was just like you think one thing, I think the other. We exchange the points, and people watching can make up their own minds depending on who's right. Doesn't mean anything to me. But there is probably people out there who say, "Oh my god, they hate each other. They're arguing."
No,
It's like
I hate Jasper so much.
Like-
He's the worst.
that is I used to do it a lot more when I was younger. I don't have the energy to do it anymore. But on interesting topics like that, that's the kind of thing that I enjoy. When people are like, "Oh my god, you're bored," it's like, no, I'm not bored because that's the kind of thing that I think about. And I like discussing that kind of thing with people who can discuss that kind of thing. So me discussing that kind of thing with X-Ray is actually probably the one of the ways that I can compliment somebody because I'm like, okay, that was an interesting conversation.
He complimented
That's about as
me
close to a
on
compliment
this
as I'll get.
forever.
The way I
I'm
would
like,
compliment someone is going that was interesting. And I'm sure people are like, "Oh my god, they argue." It's like,
No, we're not friends anymore.
to me, it was a
okay?
Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. Ed Song, thank you for the 5. I love the Chaz in Seattle because the first few days, the homeless stole all of their food. It ended up after a warlord took over.
Oh, did you see
Gosh.
their farms?
No.
They tried, like, these are people that had no idea about farms, and they basically just on concrete put a bit of soil down and then started planting and called it a farm. I'm like, that's
Yeah.
that's not how it
That's,
works.
can't make up my mind without a fight.
Yeah. He needs like a physical fight. We need like celebrity boxing. That's the only way. I actually do appreciate that actually when they're all about who's going to be the leader, and it was whichever man managed to beat up the other one. I'm like, no, there's something respectful about that actually. The strongest warlord wins.
Ian, thank you for the 50 pounds. You have to be willing to go to the place no one wants to go. Every Scot that's moved to England. It's
We
true.
have way less alcohol, which is weird considering we're England. I'm known for binge drinking. And we're like, yeah, but we can't take the Scots.
Yeah, good point there. It's called adults having conversation. Children need to pay attention. Yeah, it's true. Some people can't have a discussion, a disagreement without it becoming, okay, we're not friends anymore. But here, that it just doesn't happen because we all,
Well,
we,
no,
it's- we
it
know we
tends to come
disagree
from-
on a lot, but we also agree on a lot. That's just how it is.
No, talking about stuff like that is how you end up with the right decision.
Yeah,
Essentially.
you talk it out instead of just like being stuck in your ways. It's good. It's good to have, debates with your friends and then still remain
Well,
friends
it
afterwards.
depends who you're having debates with. A lot of people who debate in bad faith, there is nothing to be had with those. Like, they're
Yeah.
having to be gotcha. Whereas neither me or X-Ray were trying to get points essentially. It was, I think this, you think this. And so it's a
Yeah.
legitimate conversation. Whereas a lot of the stuff, a lot of online debates are from two people on opposing sides, and they both want to like humiliate the other person or catch them in something that you can use in a clip. And there's nothing.
Oh yeah, so online. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's very true. Ed Song, thank you for another 5. Extra girl, oh, you know what? Hold on, I'll save that for when she comes back. Thank you for another 5. Person, I am unhappy. Canada, it sounds like your life is over. Person, what? Canada, sleep, go to sleep, don't struggle anymore. That's how Disparu sees it.
That's literally what happened. A guy wanted a stair lift, and they went, "Well, best I can do, top you." And I'm like, what?
Mike says never debate the Welsh.
Yeah, you won't understand them. Like I can't understand the Welsh accents. I can understand some southern Wales, mate. The stuff in the middle, like the farmer territory, no idea. I had this in real life. There was I was around a mate's house, and his dad was Welsh, and he came out. I think he was offering me a lift. I had no idea. I still don't know what he said. I smile. I asked him pardon 3 times. He repeated himself.
And then you just nodded.
You can't ask pardon more than 3 times. They'll punch you in the face. So I smiled, laughed, and this guy looked at me as if I'd walked out of an alien spaceship. He looked at me like he'd scraped me off his shoe. And I'm like, whatever he said, smiling and laughing was not the correct decision, and I walked out that door and never looked back. I was like, I'm gone. Like, I am way too British for this awkward situation to continue. I still don't know what he said.
50% of a person's lifelong healthcare costs occur in the last 6 months of life.
Yeah.
A person is naive if they think doctors won't push MAID to save money. Oh,
it's not the doctors, be the bureaucracy and the CEOs type.
Oh yeah.
Board. It wouldn't be the doctors because I'm not sure, but like I know enough doctors in my life that like they don't want to go with that decision.
This one was for you, X-Ray.
Oh, what's this? Ed Song for 5 says, X-Ray, did you hear about the recent case where hospitals tried to harvest organs from not fully dead people? Example, overdose but alive.
Ooh.
No, I have not heard that.
I think I vaguely remember a story about this. Yeah,
if that's disgusting. I will say that.
It's because they see the person as like a lower quality of being, and they could save a better quality of being, and they're like, well, actually, because this thing's put them into a coma, that just makes them easier to transport. It's
I mean, I don't know, so I cannot comment, and that's disgusting. So, well, yeah. Anyways, I don't know the situation.
Thank you for another 50. That was cute when we were talking about alien udders, eh?
Ian, I love you. You're so funny.
Still would.
Maybe I would at this point.
Well, I'm just more nipples has never put somebody off. It's the difference between udders. They said it was just one with multiple. Don't make that face as if I've said something weird. I'm referring to earlier in the show.
I mean,
I'm referring to the difference of what
as a female into males, I do care about the number of nipples.
I think if you took a man home and you got that far and you were into it and you were fully willing and you were like full steam ahead, and then he took his t-shirt off and he had 3, I don't think that'd stop.
I think that would shock me so much that I'd be like dry as ever.
I don't know, because it's pretty rude to stop at that point. Like, you're already there going into it, and you're like, well, no, actually, I'm going to walk out now.
You've met women.
That's true. Yeah, they will change their mind about anything. Like, he hasn't even polished his nails.
So quickly. Absolutely get the ick too quickly.
It's
my line. Okay,
it is my favorite, the TikTok guy that just does the list of icks. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And one of them is like, guy, not wear comfy clothes. Don't move.
Oh,
don't
you know
speak.
what? I love
just got like 5,000.
I love the sweats. I'm into the sweats, but that's me. The gray sweatpants, hell yeah.
That's a really...
'Tis the season. Do you not know about gray sweatpants, Disparu?
It just seems like a really low quality bar. It's like, if anything, you're lowering this thing. No, if you'd been like, I'm into guys in suits, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
No, I'm into it.
Grey sweatpants.
No,
Like,
have you
the
not
lazy,
gray
the lazy
sweatpants?
twats that don't do anything.
No.
Oh, I'm
And what
really
I'm
into that.
saying is, sweatpants can show the what people are packing really well.
So you're into
No.
tight sweatpants then?
Doesn't have to be tight.
I mean, it would have to be.
No.
No,
He
it
doesn't
doesn't
get
have
it.
to be tight.
Jesus, did you see how fast she answered then?
Girls, listen, girls in the
She
chat.
was like, no. She had something in her mind. There was a guy.
Here,
There was a
wait.
guy in her mind. No.
It's not even about that, though.
It's
Something about gray
I'm not
sweatpants
saying
just
it.
look nice, even if you don't see anything. It's just I don't know.
It's
Anyways,
It's this. Thank you. I don't want to say it out loud.
You can say the word bulge.
I don't want to say it.
You said it
It's
for her.
too naughty.
Ed Song.
Oh,
thank you for the
come on.
time.
That is not fooling anybody. Like, we are way too late for that, actually. That horse bolted many years ago.
Let's keep arguing about ethicism. And then Wicked will just be quiet and just wait for us to stop.
Just thinking about grey sweatpants.
Actually, girl,
Whatever
you're right
image
about
she had
them
in her mind.
titles.
No.
Dog connoisseur gypsy.
Like she had
and
PTSD
Interceptor.
flashbacks in a good way.
She's not an old person disposer.
No. I really think that because
She's not pushing him down the stairs.
No. The only people that I know that want to pass away is because I've had conversations with them, but then I've also had conversations where people want to live through everything possible. So it's just up to the person. I will support whatever they want if I've heard a conversation and I am on an ethical debate about someone's end of life care. I will argue for the person if I've heard what they want.
Yeah, it's up to what they want exactly.
She'll just argue to push him down the stairs.
Yeah, and if anything, sorry, Nick. I'm into baby blending.
That's true. We've seen the pictures. Sure.
I don't
Nick,
make it lightly.
Thank you for the
Mini
$4.99.
X-rays. First thing, she's like, look, you'd look great in a blender. Lots of other people, they're like, first step, first words. No, first blend. You know the channel, like, Will It Crush? She'd be like, Will It Blend?
For babies, yeah. You're right. Thank you. And dog eating. Sorry, Wicked.
You're fine. You get
what was it? What did you eat? A
effing
gerbil? Was
dessert.
it a guinea pig?
Gerbil?
One of them.
What?
Guinea pig.
In Peru.
In Peru.
Okay.
Oh. Ed Song, thank you for another 5. Extra girl, your free
That
time
seems to
life
like
has
negatively
expired.
affect like
Time
Wicked.
for a free
Oh.
time for a free helicopter ride.
What?
A helicopter ride is what I can't remember his name. Pinochet, I think it was.
Pinochet.
Gave to
Yes.
his the people he didn't like. He gave them a free helicopter ride, and they never landed. Well, they did land a lot faster than a helicopter.
And exploded.
There was an interesting video clip that came out of I can't remember what country it was. I get confused between Iraq and Afghanistan because they kind of happened at the same time. But there was one where the current guy withdrew a bit faster than he should have done, and then a few days later, we got to see the helicopter rides make a comeback on video.
X-ray's face.
I need to see these videos in order to understand it. I suppose.
Yeah.
Imagine, okay, helicopter, rope, person, flight.
Why does Liger use flight?
Helicopter came down. Person came down quite a significant fast time before the helicopter.
So they came down fast. I don't see the
At
problem.
about the speed of gravity.
That's fast. Never mind.
Terminal velocity.
Mm.
Emphasis on the term.
Terminal.
Did you know that squirrels can drop from any height and survive?
Have they dropped from space before?
Well, it doesn't matter, right? Because they can drop from heights already where they hit terminal velocity, and they can survive their terminal velocity. They like spread out, slows them down, and they can survive that height. So if you dropped them from space, they'd probably suffocate before they hit the ground. That would be the problem. But the speeds, they'd be able to survive the height distance.
I thought cats were the superior species. Oh, no. Cockroaches were the superior species.
Yeah, they can survive a nuclear, they can survive the radiation of a nuclear weapon. So they'd probably repopulate the Earth, and we'd end up with, like, cockroach human hybrids or something.
Oh, that's disturbing. No,
It'd be like Portland.
Ew.
The great thing about it is Portland is the possible punchline of every joke.
Poor Portland.
It's their own fault.
I was gonna say that. Ian, this was about the maid argument. Thank you for the 50 pounds. What about economics, though? Should economic benefits not be judged through cold logic rather than feelings? That was.
I think we were both judging it through the economic benefits, just in different ways.
Yeah.
I
So
think
one would
I
tax
was
perspective, mine would be they should
thinking-
pay for themselves.
I was thinking in a familial perspective, in terms of if they've had conversations with their family, and then, I mean, arguments are about definitions. So,
Did they like the Snow White trailer?
oh,
Are they a fan of the Acolyte?
Snow White was disgusting, though.
Ed Song, thank you for the 5. I like this conversation, but I think pasta is entirely checked out. That's me. Dying inside. I hear Canada's music coming closer to her. Yeah.
It's not the
About
first
the
time
maid
that we've checked out
conversation.
in one of these streams.
I am
It's
so
not- it probably
sorry,
will be the last.
Wicked, for
It's
this,
okay.
but
I remember when Savvy uttered the words "repeal the 19th," and Wicked just shut up, for most of the
wait, what's
stream.
the
Why let her go-
19th? What's the 19th?
That's the-
Women's rights
Oh,
to vote.
to
Yeah.
vote. Yeah.
Savvy
Don't let
said
her
it,
go
not
up.
me. I just agreed.
Tom, thank you for the 2. Zendaya is the DI girl of her generation. Zero talent. Agreed.
okay, I will say
didn't-
that she can sing a little bit, at least in the song that I heard her.
Zendaya.
But I would say Rachel Zegler probably has more talent than her in singing, though. More likely,
Yeah.
because she did do
I didn't know
Greatest
Zendaya
Showman.
could sing.
No, she did Greatest Showman.
Then yeah, that's one that I liked her in.
Don't think I've seen that.
There you go.
This is the
We were trying to
Greatest
figure one
Showman.
out. That was it.
She did one of ask Steph her favorite song from Greatest Showman, and she will. It's a good show. It's a good song. It's a good song. I like it.
I don't know. There was, I always remember there's a magician movie that I watched, and it wasn't that one. I can't remember what it's called, but it had this whole twist, and it was basically this magician died and came back to life, and nobody knew how it did, and then it revealed it all. Like, this is amazing.
don't
I
know.
never know what it is.
Maybe someone in the chat will know.
It's difficult to explain without revealing the twist, so I don't want to do that.
Disparu will begin his Space Marine program. Breed out the weakness, suffer not the mutant, the heretic, the Xeno.
The interesting thing is, as long as you obey, like, essentially masculine values, that kind of happens anyway. It's just, masculine values are basically evolution. It's basically survival of the fittest.
The prestige, what the chat's saying.
Is that
the name
correct?
of
It
the-
could have been the prestige. I will have to Google the prestige.
Brian Marshall for 1999. Thank you, Brian. Stay based, Disparu. Texas agrees. Epic
I
guest for
think
5.
Disparu should move
Oh,
to
was it a
Texas.
Nolan film? I didn't even know it was
You
a
might like
Nolan
it.
film.
He'll get a truck. He'll love it. How do you stress test your ideas unless someone is sparring with you? I'm never wrong, but you can change my mind if you stand up for yourself. That's a good
And
way
that's
to put
the
it.
thing. Like, I think that people are very set in their minds about what they believe in, but that's the fun part about normies. Normies are not set in their mind. So when you actually start poking and prodding through some of the DEI stuff that they have been like living through, being told that this is what you should agree with, it's very interesting to see how they change.
Yeah. Oh, because they can get swayed because they don't think for themselves. So not even that they sway your way, but that's why their arguments don't really, they have none because someone told them to think this way. So that's the way that they think. And then when you try to change their mind and show them facts, they just, no. They don't
No,
want,
and
yeah.
especially if you go to like a TV show and you go, what was so good about it?
they're like, oh, you didn't like it because there was a black girl lead, or because this person, you're just a racist, and that's when they
It's
hit
not
that.
about that. It's
Yeah,
not about that.
you hit their ists and faux button, which is it's like their default mode.
I always remember going on Twitter after She-Hulk and like going on the other side of the internet and seeing what people liked, like the people that liked what they were doing, and they were always posting pictures of, this reminds me of this movie. Oh, this was a callback to this. This was an Easter egg of this. They never spoke about the actual show. They only spoke about what it referred to from before, and it was literally they just seemed to be involved in essentially nostalgia. They're just recycling the feelings, and that's what they like. And then they move on to the next thing, so they didn't need something bigger.
And that's the sad part, because like no one will refer to like things like the Acolyte. So when you really dig down into some people's arguments, you really see how they feel about the show. They found it entertaining. Like I found Acolyte entertaining in a sense. Okay. I'm not saying I loved it, but I thought it was funny.
You liked it for the reasons that they didn't want you
Yes.
to like it.
And so when you ask
some people watching
about
the Acolyte
it,
found out why I like Willow.
Jason
So what-
Webster, thank you for the Australian 5. Hi to the exquisitely charming X-ray girl, I always say it,
Perspicacious.
perspicacious Victor Virtue, and the one and only Disbrew. Completed my workout and Christmas shopping. Oh, nice.
what did you work out, Jason? I'm so curious. Can you let me know?
I like the idea
I'm
that
like-
you just bought like dumbbells for everybody.
I'm so sore for my hamstring and glute workout. Like the last what?
I tell you, before earlier on we were like, look, you give to charity. You don't tell everyone about it. You're like, by the way, I've been squatting my ass. I
did squat.
think you all needed
Not
to
that
know.
time.
Well, what else is a glute workout?
The Romanian deadlifts, sumo squats.
What's
sumo
Romanian about
deadlifts.
them?
No, it's just the position.
Yeah, it's just a deadlift. Like, no, this is Romania. All the
let's
Romanians,
squat,
they just go loud and loud.
hip
Oh,
thrusts. Depending on how you even do your stiff-legged deadlifts, like it matters, okay?
Copied Kitty for 5 just because. Well, thank you. Angie Matthews for 5. Disbrew, there is a height that Minecraft cats below they land okay, above they glide, was found out from high-rise buildings.
Interesting.
Oh, okay, as in, okay, done in Minecraft.
Like jumping
Yeah,
off.
I don't know about cats. The most impressive thing about cats is the videos where people drop them onto a table. And so there'll be like 8 inches of drop, 6 inches of drop. And then they drop them so they're so close to the table, they still land the right way up. That's always amazed me. Their reflexes are... It might be that like cats as a species are just like the apex predator.
No,
Because
so
they
cats
can do so much.
cats, the only way they can drop and land is actually their tail. So when they land or when they move in the air, the tail goes in the opposite direction. So that's how they can push their trajectory so that their feet land.
Yeah, and they use it's. I don't think it's centrifugal force. It's the same kind of force that ice skaters use to spin faster. So you spin slow with your arms out, and then you go.
Centripetal.
The moment you pull it, you spin faster. They use that. They pull their legs in to spin faster. Squirrels do the same thing. They pull their body in and out to control the spin. It's just the speed that they do it. You can drop a cat with basically no distance between the table, and it will land the right way up, and the camera can't pick it up. So in 60 frames of second, you can't see them do it. That's the wild bit.
I think cats are cool though, except they're bitches and they plan to murder myself. But
Well,
whatever.
cats are the only species which has ever domesticated itself. They basically turned up, we fed them, they stayed. But they're still wild animals.
because
we keep
they're
them.
planning on our death.
Whereas dogs are just happy to like be taken care of.
I
Like,
love
oh my
dogs!
god, he fed me. No, one of my favorite videos is this guy is like going like with he's throwing the ball but fake throwing it, so he still got it. And the dog's like, oh my god, he's gonna throw the ball. He's gonna throw the ball. Oh my god, he's gonna throw the ball. Oh, he threw the ball! I never saw that coming. Like, dogs are just the most enthusiastic things on the planet. Everything amazes them, and they're always excited about it.
It's true. I love
Yeah.
dogs. Gary
amazing.
Thomas For 10, when Portland was first founded, it was written into their constitution that it was a state made by and for European Americans exclusively. Modern day Portland is an overcorrection.
I'm not sure. I don't know enough about the American setup to even comment. I don't know what that means. I only know modern day Portland and the people in it and what I've seen. That's one of the things in the Naomi series. And she was like, "Oh my god, I'm in Portland," and I still remember Az's reaction. I was like, "Of course she's in Portland. Where else would she be?"
Bird up for 5. I'm not convinced that Rachel Zegler can actually sing. Listen to how much auto-tune is on her voice. If that's good singing, we have low standards.
She has early YouTube videos of her singing. She can sing.
I think that's where she was discovered on YouTube first.
No, she was. So I don't deny the fact that she can sing. I just don't like her.
It is interesting. Like I can't hear auto tune or something unless it's done really severely, so I wouldn't be able to comment on that. But
No, she has talent. Okay, guys. Like there's no denying it. Like it's fine. I just don't think she's talented as an artist, and she's not talented in the media. So there's that.
She's not socially talented. She doesn't know how to talk.
She thinks she is.
She thinks she is. That makes it even worse. It's like a dumb person that thinks they're smart. That's her.
But this goes back to many things. I remember there was a I think it was a YouTube guy, YouTube or Twitch, and he went and did one of the cons, and he was on one of the panel shows, and he got asked a question of, how do you like relate to your fans when, you know, you've got X amount of millions of subscribers or whatever? Like, how do you relate to them? And he went, I don't want to. I don't want my fans to think they're anything like me at all. I'm better than them, and they should know it. I'm above them.
They said that?
Yeah, there's a video of it. I could probably find it.
That's
can't remember who it is,
disgusting.
but this is it's a really famous moment. And this guy's career, but
The
obviously,
fact that they think he's better than their fans.
oh
or
yeah, and he told them
whoever.
to their faces at the con. But this is on YouTube. You get that kind of feedback very quickly because you say something, they watch you, they stop watching, you die. Whereas in Hollywood, there's a gap at the studios paying you. So there's
Because
that middle
there's
layer.
massagers of egos.
Yeah, so the actor don't think that the audience matters because it's the studio paying them. And it's only when the studio realizes that that person can't bring in the audience that they stop paying them, and then they realize. I think Rachel Zegler is in that zone. She's still in the high, like, it's like if the planet goes, gravity affects you, but later, she's still in that thing where the wave hasn't hit yet. And so she's still running her mouth. And it's like, it's just coming.
Look, she's so used to doing it. I think that if you, like any human being, that has been the success that brought me success. I'm going to keep doing that. She keeps doing it, and she doesn't realize the nuance of all the little things she's doing to alienate her audience.
Exactly.
I'm here to burn.
Would you say your
I
mic
need to
cut out?
find that video.
Oh, I said I'm here to watch it burn.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Same. Let it burn. What are you looking up, Disparu?
I may not be able to find it now. I might look for it for next week. The video of the guy at the con who's like, "No, I don't think people should relate to me. I want them to know I'm better than them." And like, he really says it like he fully into it.
And that's the thing, I think, with humans in general. I'm not saying specifically YouTubers or actors or anyone. Doesn't matter who you are nobody in someone's eyes. And so the fact that you think you're above people is disgusting. I think that you need a reality check. And I mean, I'm sure he got a reality check. I'm assuming it's a he. I don't know.
It was a he, yeah.
There are some females that are out there that are like that too. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Don't think you're above the general public's thoughts.
I mean, it helps when you're sitting in your front room.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yes. But still, like it's taken away so quickly, and if you are so egotistical, well then F you. See what it brings you.
Wise
Do you have
words.
the video? I'm kind of curious to see this.
Yeah, did you
I
find it?
can't remember who he is, so I'm gonna have to like Google around it and try and find out.
Dang it. Dang it.
Because it was a long
It's
time,
alright.
many years ago. This was.
Should we just bring up our second topic just in case at this point?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah. So are we just gonna like it? am I gonna get clipped if we watch this trailer? Or not trailer, this 8 minutes? Or you guys just want to talk about it?
We can talk about it.
Oh, you want
Alright.
to Warrior Hero? Yeah, you can't play that.
Oh, okay. Well,
That was so that you
Uh,
could watch it, so that you could talk about it. Is why I posted that.
Oh my god, the girl boss hair is so amazing.
Well, The
Sorry.
interesting thing is, she gets him killed. The daughter gets Helm Hammerhand killed. That is not in the lore. Helm Hammerhand, literally, he was besieged at what became Helm's Deep, and he would walk out into the mist and basically just take on armies alone with his bare hands. That's how badass this guy was. He would walk into the enemy camp and just start annihilating people. And because he was so violent and aggressive, he got like rumors around him that he was basically like a monster. That he was possessed because they were so scared of him. And so it hints at that, but it has its own side thinking he's possessed, which doesn't make any sense. And then which she never did any of this because she doesn't exist, basically, in the story. She goes out of a secret passage, sees some orcs, walks out into the orcs. I'm like, what are you doing, you stupid cow? Stay in the pissing castle. And he dives down to save her life and then has to run to the castle to get her through and then dies.
here,
So
we'll just
she
pull
gets
this
him
up.
killed.
Just a clip. Not a clip, but just like an image of it.
Yes, so she gets him killed with her decisions because she thinks she can take on an orc. And he's like, you need to be our leader because you're the best of... She just got you killed. She's proven she's incapable.
So, if anything, Helm is the hero of the story.
Helm dies a hero, but in the lore, he goes out and he keeps killing all the enemies, and then they just wake up one day where he hasn't come back. And they just find him as like a statue frozen in the snow. Nobody knows how he died. Nobody knows who killed him. There's no lore about how he died. So, but this didn't happen because in this people would know.
Mm-hmm. I think that they were trying to make some sort of comeback story for her, like she's gonna eventually kill whoever killed him, which is so
Yeah.
silly.
Well, there's another clip where she's facing off against the leader of the other army. And she's like, I want to fight you. And behind him, the guy goes, you don't want to fight her. She's really clever. She's planning something. So she's affirmed. Her intelligence is affirmed. And he's like, no, I will fight you, because he's a man. He's impetuous, so he's not listening to the guy behind him. It's like, I'm not afraid of you. Which you should be. Why? There's no way you're going to beat him in a fight. He's a prince. He's been training his entire life to sword fight. And you've been training for about 20 minutes.
Oh, there you go, Disparu.
Oh.
Thank
awesome.
you.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. I'm gonna still watch this movie because I mean obviously I have to watch it. But I have very little hopes. And I mean, even from the trailer and not even the 8 minutes of clips, like it was pretty obvious where they were headed. And it's really sad because I love Lord of the Rings. I think that is such a great franchise.
Oh.
And it's being shat on.
Okay, now you'll have to
Yeah,
let
I
me know
probably
if you
won't
can
watch
hear
it.
No, you totally
Yep.
are.
Okay.
No, you totally
No,
are.
and,
Yeah.
and as weird as that sounds, and it's like it's kind of like low key, like God complex kind of thing. Is I don't feel like many of my viewers should relate themselves to me because, and this is like super like kind of like God like kind of weird. Is like I do think of myself as better than, or not better, but like bigger.
This is going
There's
sideways.
no good way to say this. I think of myself as like above the average person, so I don't feel like many people could relate to me. As like bad as that sounds, I know, but like.
My favorite, he knows. I shouldn't be
As
saying
soon as
this,
he said that,
but
he
I just
knew
need to
he
tell you
effed
how
up.
much better I am than you.
Did
I
he
think-
lose
I
his
think-
following after that?
Oh, he
Well,
did.
it says Twitch streamer, and I don't want to scroll on Reddit
Oh,
while I'm.
my
so
God.
I'll-
Yeah.
I
Careful.
will cancel that and look, see if anyone mentions his name.
As a woman who I'm sure most of her audience can't relate to her because she has boobs and a vagina, like that's not how you phrase it. Like that's disgusting.
Yeah, no.
He literally thinks
He
he's
said I'm better. He
above
said
them.
that.
He's above them.
There's people that
Based
think
on
that.
the
It's like
talk.
you're actually not though.
Yeah.
Well,
No. I just
hierarchy
think I'm
exists.
just
There are
a
some
female
people which
version
are
of my
better
male
than others.
audience.
In fact, I think you could put all people throughout all of human history on a scale, and you would be able to work out who is better than everyone else. Like Elon Musk is better than me. Like that. This is an obvious statement.
I mean, his hair is
The
nice.
problem comes when you're like, no, I'm better than all of my viewers, obviously, because I'm the one they're watching. It's like, oh, piss off.
He
It's
was
like,
from Channel Awesome.
Okay,
Channel
so
Awesome.
how
I've heard the
how
name.
much did his channel die after that interview? Out of curiosity.
Well, I don't know, because I think Channel Awesome, isn't that like a group channel? It is a group channel. I don't know
Karen,
his name specifically, or if he had a specific channel of his own.
I don't
Good
know
night,
how you
Amanda.
phrase it, Karen, but I would definitely not phrase it like that because there's a superiority complex that he has. And I think that as humans, something that I've always put on celebrities is that they're just normal people doing a job.
They're not
Um,
normal people.
I
They're way worse than normal people.
Well, most likely, but like it's just a person doing a job. And I do a job doing whatever I do. And so when I go like I remember there was a time when I was working at the spa and they were like, "Oh my god, this celebrity is next door at the bar. Do you want to go and like look at them?" And I'm like, "No, because it's freaking creepy. Why would I just go and sit there and look at them? Like that's disgusting." Anyways, so they're just normal humans doing their thing. Why do they get to be superior over me and won't have me gawk over them? Keanu Reeves is probably one of the only ones that I would gawk
See,
over.
there you
He's
go.
just got like a
You
good
want to
heart.
see him
It's not-
strangle a man in front of you.
No. I actually appreciate the way he conducts himself on a
The
financial
gun
aspect.
foo. You're like, yeah, the way he
No,
put
on
that
a
shotgun into the other
financial
guy's chest.
aspect.
And went, poof.
Financial and a moral aspect. I think that there's a lot to him that is such a good human. Like the
The
fact that he's
piano wire around the guy's throat.
No!
That's what you
Oh
read.
my god.
You're like, oh yeah. It was the way
No.
he got that book in the library, and the guy that's way bigger than him just started ramming it into his jaw.
I also think that the fact that he keeps up with his roles, I respect that because that's also part of your job as an actor. If you are going to take action roles, he still keeps fit for his roles. Anyways, but that's just me.
It's
I
the
think it's
interesting
true.
that I remember. I think it was when he was filming The Matrix, and they were planning to do the Matrix. They were thinking about doing The Matrix 2 or something, or it was 2 to 3, one of those. And the one that played Serenity walked up to him, and he was just sitting in a bath of ice, which he did after every filming session. It's like, why are you doing that? It's like, when you do for your fight scenes, you'll know. And that's your,
Oh my
They
god,
helped.
yeah.
yeah.
Inflammation.
She was like, no, it was a really good idea. Actually, they helped.
JRE liked it too. Or Joe Rogan likes his ice baths too. When I figured out so there's a spa in Toronto that does heat and ice circuits so that it shocks your body so much and you're exhausted, but you actually feel so good afterwards, your muscles. Cold is the worst.
Would-
Heat is
This was a little different for this. I think it was because he'd done all the fight moves, and it's basically like dancing for hours upon hours, just repeating the same movements. All of his muscles were done, and so it was more to relax his muscles at the end of filming rather than random fight training.
Maybe, but regardless, if you're getting actual fights and hits in there, that the inflammation process, or swelling, redness, tenderness, and all that, if you go in an ice bath, it's good for your body. I promise
Heard.
you, that's what
I've
you're
heard
supposed
it
to do.
is. Yeah.
Rice? Is that what's called? Rest, ice, compression, elevation.
Yeah. Jason Webster, thank you for the 2. Question: what is your all-time favorite romantic song? I don't know. There's quite a lot that I like, but I'm just gonna go with by default, Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers. I feel like everyone just thinks that's such a sweet song. It's
I mean,
old
probably
school.
Ed Sheeran. Anything Ed Sheeran, really.
He's good.
I'm sure.
He's good. Yeah. This Bruce,
I
like, I
don't
don't
have-
listen to that
You like
crap.
to listen to a man who's uglier than the one you're with.
Sure. Sure. No,
Yeah,
but
I don't have a romantic song, but I think that Barry White is probably one of the best romantic singers, just because this is the only guy in living history who couldn't be kneecapped. So because he'd built up such thick skin on his knees from years of hot loving, he was important. The gangsters, they could do anything to him; it wouldn't happen. He basically had bulletproof knees. That guy had rug burns that you wouldn't believe.
I think that when it comes to romantic songs, it depends on the person and what you do with the song.
Yeah.
Like it like I could
You're
have
getting divorced, let the bodies hit the floor, that kind of thing.
what the heck?
That song says extra
That was
girl's
an
favorite is killing
underappreciated
me
joke.
softly.
I don't know that joke. I wish I knew. I'm sorry to screw.
Oh.
It was too
Like,
bad.
have you ever heard of divorce cakes?
No.
Okay.
People get cakes when they divorce?
Divorce cakes are a special. People have wedding cakes. There are divorce cakes.
That just says it's not just a
See
cake.
you later. See you later.
I mean, I personally love cupcakes. So if you do divorce cupcakes, I might like it. Because I think it's just
In
the
Canada,
icing.
just say sorry.
Sorry, eh?
Here's some cupcakes. Anyways, it's getting at that time. The one topic was mild because we couldn't actually watch the 8-minute trailer or whatever you want to call it.
I'm sharing a divorce cake.
Oh, sorry. Oh, geez. Well,
Well, that
it's a
is
wedding. It's a
very
wedding cake, but yeah,
disturbing.
the other ones are like the groom is at the bottom of all like the steps of cake, and she's like pushing him. It's like there's loads.
loads.
Load. Big load.
What do you have coming up, X-Ray?
It's a divorce. Like that would be a weird way to end it.
I'm gonna build the rest of this wildflower Lego tomorrow in the morning, Sunday. I probably will be a little hungover, just given the amount I drank
'Cause you had a
today.
few, yeah.
I have been almost pin sober the week, except for the Thursday when I hung out with Kara. So the drinks are hitting very heavily today. And I do have another flower kit, so I mean, I'm so
Those are-
excited. I freaking love Lego.
I like those. Those are cute. Maybe you should
Um,
get a rose one.
Yes. And then Path of Exiles 2, I'm going to be playing with the Sunday Funday crew. We've already decided what type of characters we're going to play. So that'll be really funny. I hope. We'll see. Woo. But anyways, that's it. Oh, and Nerdotic Live, we are going to be talking about COVID conspiracies
Ooh.
for Forbidden Frontier. So check that out over there.
Lucifer the Doberman, thank you for the K2. Careless Whisper is the GOAT. That's always a good one. That's a default for a lot of people. George
That's
Michael.
not very sexy, though, I don't think.
Well, yeah, I guess like you said, it depends on the person, right? And
Maybe I'm just into more like R&B type of stuff.
yeah, me too.
Oh no.
I like R&B
Oh,
and then
I
like
couldn't think of
old
something
school.
worse.
Old
What do
school,
you like, this brew?
Not that.
like Unchained Melody.
Okay,
That's
but what do you like?
Would you want about romantic songs? I don't really have romantic songs.
No, what
But
do you like
there's
to
definitely
F
something
to?
that can destroy the mood. Like any R&B, like rap. If someone starts playing
love
rap
it.
music, no, kick him out. Kick him out. No.
No,
Oh, no.
not rap music. Rap music, no. But R&B.
It's all the
I'm
same.
down with.
both?
No.
No,
No,
R&B is
it's
not
the
rap.
Same
No.
thing.
Okay,
Okay, so this brew, tell me, what do you like to F to?
I don't really see the point of me. Like, I'm not. It's like, oh my god, we need to put
Nothing.
music on because this isn't interesting. Like, if you need music, like this is gonna be boring unless I'm listening to Barry Manilow or whatever it is. It's like,
Okay, there we go.
Well, what
it's the same
do
kind
you
of thing.
have?
Like, if she starts putting the TV on, you're doing something wrong. She's like, no, I need to watch Murder She Wrote while this is happening.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god, I'm dead.
Especially, yeah, that's if she starts watching crime dramas or like true crime. George, stop, leave.
Stop and leave.
You're gonna end up under a patio.
What do you have coming up this brew?
Probably
Videos.
being under a patio. War of the Rohirrim video.
Carlos Lima's mom.
Oh yeah.
Apparently, she's very, very wealthy. Very wealthy family background he has. I remember when that came out. It was like, oh, actually, you're just a rich kid. No wonder you don't understand anything. Yeah, War of the Rohirrim video. And then I think I've got other stuff. I can't even remember what came out.
Got a
Various
list.
different trailers. Yes, I do actually have a list. I bought something to make lists on. But but I can't remember off the top of my head. We'll see as it happens.
All right, we'll just follow Disprove's channel. All their links are in the description. Tomorrow is my Sunday night Scream stream. I don't know if Mike's still here, but he's gonna join. I gotta teach Capable Gentleman and Epic Mike how to play Dead by Daylight. So this is gonna be fun.
Really?
We're
Oh
gonna
my
we're
gosh,
all
I'm
gonna
so
die.
Who do you think is gonna be worse at it?
I don't know. 'cause
Epic
I
Mike
think-
has to die first.
He's a black man. That's true.
I don't know because Mike might have actually played more times than
think
Lee, but I don't
Lee
know.
is not a gamer, from my understanding. So
You think he's gonna be worse?
I mean, because he doesn't game as much. That is literally just by skill.
Yeah, we'll see.
Haven't I seen Lee and you play before, though, Wicked?
Yeah, every Sunday night usually. Sometimes I have to skip it, but for the most part, every Sunday night.
I've seen Lee play it. And you're like, oh, every Sunday. And Mike, when was the last time you played?
Well, no, we don't play
Oh
Dead
my
by
I've
God,
never
Daylight
seen
every
you
this
play
Sunday.
Dead by
guy.
Daylight.
He's talking crap about Lee.
We don't play Dead by Daylight every Sunday. We've played Demonologist usually, but it's like
Right,
we play a
sorry, not
scary
Well,
game.
yeah, it was-
So
If anything, I was complimenting Lee and saying he was better than Mike because I didn't think Mike had played it a lot. He's like, no, actually, I play it all the time. So,
well, there you go.
mm.
So that's what I have going on, and then during the week, just my usual gaming streams and everything. Tom, thank you for the 2. Every Girl I Dated Loves "Fade Into You" by Maisie Starr. I don't know what that
I've
is.
never heard of that.
I might have heard of it, like if I heard it, but I can't think of it. Was it a Seminator? 1, 2, 3 for Canadian 2. Magnet and Steel is an awesome love song. And Jason Webster, Lady, What's Your Name? 1982 by Swanee. I don't know if I said that wrong, but all right, guys.
I like how
thank
that's the
you.
one you picked up on, not Seminator.
I did. I was like, what? I
It's
didn't
like,
know.
no, I definitely said that one correct.
No, yeah, that's true. I don't know. I don't think I said either of them correctly, but it's okay. But guys, thank you for hanging out. This was a fun stream, and we'll be back.
Are you
next
sure,
week.
Wicked?
Yeah, I got to take a break. You guys went at it for 30 minutes.
Right, didn't you notice I went AFK for an hour?
Yeah, I was
No.
just reading chat and drinking my drink. I was
Came back just
chilling.
folding clothes.
Just
Got the
Drew
ironing
and
done
I were
in the
just
meantime.
arguing. It's great.
The internet's gonna be like, they're not friends anymore. There's gonna be videos made. Disprue and X-Ray have a falling out. Saucy Saturdays is no more.
I'm ready for it, guys. Cheers.
But guys, thank you. Seriously, it's been fun. We're at, I think before we know it, we're gonna be at 100 episodes. Like it's just kind of flying by.
I
Um,
love it because honestly,
At about
like
the pace of one a week.
Disprue has said that this show for him is such a fun show. He doesn't realize it's 3 hours. It's the same for me. I
yeah.
freaking love the fun times that we have as a group. So very appreciative. Anyways,
What are you
I'm getting
clipping, Mike?
coffee.
Yeah, we'll let X-Ray go take a nap. She needs some cheese or something, a snack, and a nap.
And a banana. Maybe I'll
You eat
peel it with my
cheese before?
feet.
Are you insane?
She likes
Yes.
cheese. I'm gonna eat
I
cheese when I get
love
off the stream.
cheese. Did
No,
you
but
know that
Cheese before sleeping is literally now for giving nightmares. That's
Maybe I
Is
like-
that
maybe I like
scientifically
that.
true,
Maybe I like
Disprue?
the nightmares. I like aliens eating me in sleep.
Maybe I like nightmares.
Yeah. I want to be in
I
alien
love
isolation in my
nightmares.
dreams.
I still need to
Um,
build my shelf. I haven't yet. I will at some point. My nails look too nice to build it. Also,
want
I
to
haven't
go-
taken it out of my trunk because it's too heavy.
I still remember when you made like a cheese board or something at Gary's, and you're like, "Look, I made this." I'm like, "Yeah, but when?" Some of that cheese looked rancid. I don't know what type of cheese it was, but it looked like it was like 3 weeks old.
Oh, that's blue cheese. There's blue cheese.
Ah,
Yeah.
don't eat the moldy cheese. No.
I mean, mold and cheese still tastes good. It depends on the type of cheese.
I'll give you brie. Brie is about as like
Oh,
bacteria infested as I will get.
my favorite type of brie is goat cheese.
No,
instead
no,
of
no, goat.
regular. No,
Goat anything tastes like
No,
hair.
no,
It's
no, no, no,
horrible.
no. Like instead
Goat's
of
milk is
cow,
disgusting.
but you can make brie cheese out of goat's milk, and
No.
it's delicious.
It tastes like hair. No, goat's milk
Also,
is
I'm
nasty.
lactose intolerant, so I need it.
Well, that's just because you
Yummy.
pasteurize the lactase out.
I mean, I'm Asian, so like I don't want to poop myself. So you're welcome.
Well, on that note, we should probably
What
go
was
before she
that?
says anything
Well,
else.
I'm Asian, so I don't want to poop myself. The
A lot
rest
of
you
Asians are
nations,
lactose
all the other
intolerant.
nationalities of the world, they love it. They get their rocks off doing it, but us,
Do
we
you
don't like it.
understand? Bubble tea is
You're British, obviously.
lactose-free
You love
milk
to crap yourself.
because a lot of Asians are lactose intolerant.
That's why you eat the rice. It like binds together.
What does that have to do with milk?
Well, it balances out.
All right, guys, we're out. I'm gonna
Bye.
send you guys over to Savvy. I think she's playing a Pokemon game, so go say hi.
Probably showing her feet.
Bye.
Probably. So there you go. All right, bye. We'll see you next week.
I can't.